Right. Should be good to go, everyone. Hang on a second. Just bring that down. Let me know if we're all good in the chat. Welcome Chris, welcome Chris P, Peter, Hans, Vlatka as well, John Boss. All of the hardcore crew in the house already. We've got the weather radar up, so the weather radar is up. So if there is rain, we will see it coming in from whichever direction. And there's also some news we have to get through from yesterday, because I think 4 drivers have been given penalties. Snowder, Stroll, and Hulkenberg as well. So let's get into that. Carlos Sainz only got a 3-place grid penalty. I cannot believe that, to be honest with you. How he's got away with only a 3-place for everything Carlos Sainz did is unbelievable. Josh saying, is it going to rain? Let us know in the chat if you've got any information on that, but we've got the radio up here, so we will see. I've heard 30% chance of rain has been the call. No worries, Taylor. Appreciate it, my man. Welcome along. Welcome, Kate, as well. So, Carlos Sainz has got a 3-place penalty. I think that's a little bit lenient, I have to say. I'm kind of surprised at that one, but anyway. Bear with me. And also Stroll and Yuki Tsunoda getting penalties as well. So, bit of a mess. I didn't actually really see what Tsunoda done wrong. But then, the big one really is Nico Hulkenberg. We saw he put it on P2. But then he's been given a 3-place penalty. Very, very, very harsh. Stu was found then guilty of committing a violation under red flags. Is the microphone on, by the way? Have I got it working today? Let me know. Just chatting to myself. Welcome again, Vlatka. Hi, Kireth. Hi, chat. Get some pink hands out in the chat, everyone. Vlatka says hello to everyone. Let's do a proper community welcome. Rampage saying it's not even a guess game of who's going to win anymore. If you choose anyone other than Verstappen, please go see a doctor or something. Lumau. Maybe. So Nico Hulkenberg with a 3-place grid penalty. Really, really harsh. And I got a bit of heat in our chat yesterday for saying that Mercedes would be quite happy. Well, Mercedes will now be very happy, because doesn't that drop Nico Hulkenberg behind both Mercedes? Doesn't it promote Lewis Hamilton up to P3? In fact, isn't it now a Mercedes lockout on the second row? So I stand by what I said with Mercedes being the happiest team yesterday. I stand by it. A little bonus there from the stewards. Anyway, I think Haas appealed it, but no dice with the appeal, so unfortunate that one for Haas, really. Sure, a lot of the neutral fans and Nico Hulkenberg fans would have been hoping to see him do well. I just want to take a look at the driver's standings, by the way, because we keep slating Sergio Perez. I have to be honest here, okay? If Fernando Alonso, who's now starting P2, has a really good race here, and Sergio Perez has a very bad race, we're going to see that points differential get very close, aren't we? Very, very close. And then we start really to put some pressure on Sergio Perez versus Daniel Ricciardo in that seat, I believe. Mercedes, terrible start of the season. Even worse start of the season than last season, I think. But now they seem to be motoring. And what are Ferrari doing? Heaven only knows. There we go. We've got all the commands in there. Mike ADL Dukakis saying the rain is incoming, ready for the race. Welcome Sammy's as well, waking up early in Australia with a Red Bull. Does that mean a Max Verstappen fan in the house? Prince saying, what's up from Southern California? What's up indeed? Christopher, the rain gods will grant Alonso another podium today. He's going to be granted it. Marcus saying, let's go Lewis. I'm on top chat. Let me get over to live chat here. When does the race start? The race starts in 55 minutes time. I'm going to gamble that we have a timer that works for that. Ah! Yes! I've gambled. I've gambled on that. Now all I need to do is I need to, like, put it here so you can't see time to qualifying. Ah, oh, damn. Oh, no. I'm being silly. Streaming. Look at this. Look at this, chat. Oh, man. Pro level strat, pro level streaming. That's pretty accurate, that timer, I think. There we go. We happy with that, chat? We happy? 62 people already, by the way, in the stream. Prime time, 6 p.m. Normally I'd be doing Gran Turismo or something. Let's have a look at the team standings here. Red Bull, Mercedes. Again, Aston Martin looking to put some pressure on Mercedes maybe, but Lance Stroll had a really bad qualifying session. Welcome, Silly Skiben. First time joining a live watch along from me. Kireth, your presentation is top notch, dude. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Sammy loves Red Bull. Oh, he's supporting McLaren but loves Red Bull. Who is McLaren's official energy drink sponsor? Josh saying pray for rain. Keep an eye on the radar. That's all I'm going to say. Keep an eye on that radar. And as Christopher Russell says, Russell squared, yeah, smash that like button. We want to be absolutely destroying the likes. We want to be getting to fight. We should be getting to 1,000 likes on this stream. We should be hitting the big 1,000. That is our objective, really. By the way, just want to mention it here. I did say it yesterday. The giveaway is open. Someone is going to win a free copy of F1 Manager 23, courtesy of Fanatical. So there's a link there. All you need to do, I think, is sign up to our newsletter. And then there's some other optional stuff you can do to be in the mix. Someone is going to get a free code for the game they are advertising right now on Sky, which is basically the same game as the one I have in the top right, except they are adding some challenges. Mike saying Hulkenberg, Alonso, Hamilton top 3. Has anyone's top 3 changed after those grid penalties? Let's have a look, by the way, at the official grid. Here we go. Can you see that, everyone? Verstappen P1, Alonso P2. What a crazy qualifying, by the way. Charles Leclerc has been promoted to P10, even though he didn't even get into Q3, because Carlos Sainz has been demoted. And now McLaren sitting P7 and P8. Maybe not too bad. Oscar Piastri binned it. He's still starting in P8. Hopefully they've managed to fix that car there, because the right rear, there's quite a big impact there. On the, not just the wheel, but also the brake as well, it seems. It's Coke for McLaren. Did Coke do an energy drink? And by the way, we've got a poll running as well, so make sure you vote in the poll. Who will win the Canada GP? At the moment, it's 62% for Verstappen, 19% Hamilton, and only 3% for Hulkenberg. Look, Hulkenberg still starting in P5. You have to say, Haas would probably be happy with a P5 if you offered it to them before the race. So, yeah, you know, Haas still looking pretty handy. But how is the race going to pan out? Just how fast is Max Verstappen? We will see. We will see. Ow. Sammy saying, what happened to chat? I don't know. What has happened to chat? Can anyone confirm? Has anything happened to chat? Chat, are we okay? Sammy's asking what's happened to chat. Chat, are you okay? Tony, hello. Do you watch MotoGP at Germany? What on earth Marquez crashes rivals? I haven't seen the MotoGP today if it was on. I have seen Marquez race quite a few times in person in MotoGP. And that's always been his style. When he was younger, before he had all the injuries, he could just race with his shoulder down on the circuit. But I feel like his driving style was not particularly sustainable. Chat, are you okay? Chat is okay. Testing. What was the issue with chat, Sammy? Let us know. So yeah, but you got to rate Marc Marquez. By the way, we're going into a premiere. If you like your motorbikes, we're going to premiere after the stream, where we are going to. It's a video I have with Valentino Rossi's actual racing wheel. So if you like Valentino Rossi, if you like motorbikes, if you like GT3 racing, or you just want to hang out even more, there's going to be a live premiere immediately following the stream. You don't want to miss it. It's, I think, the most expensive sim racing steering wheel you can get in the world. So I'm very lucky to be able to go hands-on with that. Welcome to Laura the Explorer, who has explored their way into this stream. He was glitching quite... No, what happened, Sammy? Just no one was messaging. That's what it is. We had no messaging. Chat, we need to keep the message rate up, so it looks like we haven't glitched it. I have a chat rate thing in my YouTube studio, and I can confirm that the chat rate was 0. We did go 0 on the chat rate, which was there was no chat message for a minute, which is we can do better chat. We can keep the chat rate high. But yeah, that's coming up after this stream. We'll hopefully be able to take you automatically there. But 48 minutes to go. By the way, it's dry on track, so it's going to be a dry race. And it looks like the strat options are either 2-stopper or 1-stopper, mediums and hards. Don't think we're going to see anyone on the softs here. So either the 2-stop or the 1-stop, using the hard tyre for the majority of the race. Will we see teams like Mercedes and McLaren, who have got their drivers quite close together, will we see them sort of split the strategies? Possibly. What's happening right now is the cars are doing some burnouts, going to the grids, doing some practice starts. And just a reminder that I will be at Formula E in a couple of weeks at the Rome E-Prix, doing another grid walk. So Formula E have asked me back to Rome to do another grid walk. So if you've got any things that you want me to do in this grid walk, leave them under a comment on my old grid walk video, because I'll have a look at those and make sure that I'm covering all bases for you when I'm on the grid there. Ex-F1 drivers, a lot of ex-F1 testers as well involved. In terms of drivers, you've got Degrassi. He was in Formula 1. Sam Bird was a Mercedes tester for a long time. You've got Stoffel Van Dorn, obviously. He was a McLaren F1 driver. And now he is driving for DS Penske. And plenty of other drivers. In fact, something I wanted to do was to clip my interview with Felipe Drugovich, who won F2 last season, and I think is the fastest man in the world without a seat in Formula 1. So I had an interesting interview with him that I'll clip and make sure we get on. If you like the real world motorsport stuff, keep an eye on the channel. Keep an eye on Sim Doctor as well. We'll have a space on the Sim Doctor website. Sammy can't wait for McLaren to be on podium. Silly screaming, will F1 Manager game be an Xbox? Yes, it'll be an Xbox, PlayStation and Steam. And the giveaway I'm doing is for a Steam code, just so you know. Christopher's playing F1 23 and liking it. Very nice. Any recommendations? Welcome, Jeffrey. No, you're not late at all. You're here in good time for the pre-race build-up. John Boss saying there's a 20% chance of rain. Now, at Canada, that could be 120% chance of rain, because anything can happen. John doesn't know what a max is. I'm in Canada, though. Very nice. Welcome, Brywoods. Kate says, quick poll. Who are we supporting today? Yeah, where is the support today? Is there more Max fans, Alonso fans, Hamilton fans? Where are the Ferrari fans? Do we have any Ferrari fans in the house? There we go. Beatnik, is this a real race mimicked? This is the real race already. The real race is happening. When you watch on Sky or wherever you watch around the world, they actually delay the race by an hour, but we're plugged in. So what you're seeing on the right is actually the race exactly live. Only place in the world you can see it other than if you're at the track. Chris is a Ferrari fan. Sammy, back of the pack. Is that for the Ferraris? We need some Ferrari redemption today. What would be a good result for Ferrari starting 10th and 11th for Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz? Surely Ferrari just consistently shooting themselves in the foot, frankly. I mean, the fact that the Haas, whatever, has qualified ahead of them is pretty embarrassing, maybe. Right, I need to zoom up this practice because I need to make sure that we get into the race situation. So, in fact, let me do that now. How do you zoom this? There's a can of water in the way. Hang on. There we go. I've zoomed it. Because we need to zoom it forward because I need to finish this practice, finish the quali, and then we can have the race on in the background. That's zooming along. There's an unfortunate can of water placed in the way, so I'm having to gamble. Ah, damn it, I paused it. That's pretty fast, isn't it? Pretty fast. So we missed out. Ferenc saying, I can believe Science holds up a bunch of people and gets a 3-place penalty, whilst Hulk doesn't lift on the last few meters at red flag. Yeah, it's a very good point. To have an equal penalty for both of those infringements seems very unfair on Nico Hulkenberg, but it is technically a safety infringement, isn't it? Prince, I'm a Ferrari fan, been since the 1990s. It's like being a Brazil fan in football. You dominate the history books, but everyone makes fun of you when you have a down year, or dare I say, a down decade. Because it's been a down decade and a half for Ferrari, hasn't it? McLaren also down decade and a half, really. Because it's been Red Bull and Mercedes domination in the middle, pretty much. No worries, Christopher Rains. A can of water, yeah. Can of water. You actually get cans of water. They say it's more environmentally friendly than having bottles, but I'm not sure about that. They're too expensive. Silly, gotta say, I can't help myself but be an Aston Martin fan to you. Really hope to do well. Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that Lance Stroll's not up there, really, isn't it? Because if Lance was up there, then yeah, they'd really fancy himself. But again, Alonso has massively outqualified Lance. Kate is saying, I'm supporting Hamilton today to regain P1. Oh, can you imagine if Hamilton wins this race? He's an absolute master at Montreal. He's won here 7 times before. Can he make it 8? Kireth, what's your thoughts on Ocon drive? Well, I have raced Esteban Ocon in Gran Turismo. And I caught up with him in Monaco last year, and he remembered. Or he was saying he remembered. But I was like, do you remember we raced again? He was like, yeah. So what do we think, Chad? Do you think he actually remembered? But Esteban's a cool guy. You know, I quite rate Esteban as a driver. He's had to navigate the politics of Force India over to Renault, essentially. Managed to do it quite nicely. Prince saying down decade is basically a compliment. You're saying Ferrari's having a down year anytime it doesn't win a championship. Maybe. Yes, but do Ferrari expect better? Would you expect Ferrari to have won a championship in the last 15 years? With the amount of money they spend?
Did somebody spin out there?
No. The amount of money that they get back from Formula 1 by being the most prestigious team, they get more of the money. John saying Iance is only there because of his dad. Controversial one. City Screaming, I'm a bit polyamorous with F1 teams. I support different teams by the week. Who you Aston Martin this week? So we're just going to finish this Q3, simulate the qualifying, and then we'll have the race on the background. A little bit exciting. By the way, I can confirm it is raining now in the UK, so maybe the temperatures are going to drop a little bit, and I'll be a little bit cooler. Sammy saying, let's get the poll to 100 votes. Yeah, let's try and get it to 100 or 95 right now. Very, very, very close. Very close. John now saying Lance. John's a big Aston Martin fan, aren't you? Oh, Zero with the $5. Thank you so much, Thank you so much, 00083 for the $5 donation. I have a feeling that this is going to be a very exciting race. Can we get some claps out, please, for Zero dropping a $5 donation? Absolutely huge. Thank you so much. Very, very, very generous of you. Gonna get some claps out in chat. Where are they? Here they are. Showing the love to 00083. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. Has a feeling this is going to be a very exciting race. It could be. And a sprinkling of rain would really add to that excitement as well, wouldn't it? So hopefully, welcome Chunky as well. Taylor, Alonso or Ocon, Aston Martin would be great. Alonso and Ocon back together again, right? Oh, look at the love coming through with the claps. Thank you so much to 0083. Sorry, 00083. I keep getting that wrong. I do apologise for that. Your generosity is very much appreciated. Legendary support. Let me just progress this through here. So we'll do... Actually, no, we'll just go straight through to the race. Screw it. Where did we get... Where's it going to simulate us? Did we get through to Q3 as Williams? No. Didn't happen. Didn't Alex Albon it. Alex Albon, by the way, in P9 on the Williams. We keep forgetting to talk about that.
Williams had a good performance in qualifying.
Not sure about that, Karun Chandok. Right, here we go.
The drivers there lined up on the grid under mostly sunny skies.
Finally, some nice stuff in the background. Ferenc, I'm still angry at Mercedes crying about porpoising. Oh, tough one. Tough one, you know. F8 races fall because of that, and since then Red Bull's been ahead of the pack.
This is good.
Well, hang on, I don't understand your comment there. They complained about porpoising. The FIA helped them, so surely they'd be in an even worse position. This Red Bull have smashed it, haven't they? Silly loves the clap emote, very nice. Chunky, what's the weather looking like? Just to the race in F1 23 and Alonso won the race. Well, at the moment we're hearing 20% chance of rain. That's what we're hearing in the chat. But we have the live weather radar up. We're getting quite close to start now, 38 minutes. And we saw yesterday how the rain sort of came just at the beginning of quali, didn't it? It just started to rain there. Hope that Piastri gets top 10. Maybe. I think McLaren just getting points will be a good solid stuff. I mean, they started this season so badly, didn't they? But they've done some really good work behind the scenes. No one's really talking about McLaren, but you know, great qualifying in Barcelona for Lando. And wasn't Piastri really good in Q2? Piastri set like a really good lap in Q2, didn't he? So clearly some pace in that Ferrari. Black says, what are you snacking on? I brought some snacks. Oh yeah, I brought some snacks. Look what I brought. Check out my snacks. The only thing is they're going to be melted, aren't they? Sammy's snacking on noodles. Let us know what you're snacking on in the chat. I need a freezer up here. Prince going to grab some beer for the race. Yeah, it's going to be a fun race. Hopefully we're going to get through all the way without being taken down like we did at Spain. Fortunately, Monaco we got taken down, didn't we? Can't remember. Peter's got chips and drop. Sammy's got Oreos. Noodles and Oreos. That's a weird combo. Welcome, Funky Monkey. Hashtag is funky time. No, hashtag it's monkey time in the chat. Got some big news to announce tonight about something that's coming not just on this channel but other channels this week. Something that's been in the works for a long time. A lot of people working really hard behind the scenes to make it happen. Just an idea we had to transform something online, and we're almost here. It's almost time. I'm sure you're going to love it. Brywood says, I'm. Sammy said, I recommend getting a mini fridge for your snacks. Mini fridges are really energy inefficient, aren't they? Cindy's got a lemon in her base, chunky chips, and a parsley sauce with some random veg. Laura Bellini in the house. Hello from Montreal. Hello to Laura Bellini. I couldn't make a Bellini pun there. That's bad of me. Should be better than that. I was at the qualifying yesterday. Wow, what a qualifying session that was. Very exciting probably to see the cars go out on different tyres. It was absolute chaos in Q3 at the end. Drivers trying to go out and set a faster time, but the track was just too wet. Brightwood's waiting on a chicken burger. When you say waiting, have you ordered it or is it in the oven? Let us know. And have you got, when you say chicken burger, is it grilled chicken, breaded chicken? Let us know. Taylor's got burrata with tomatoes. Sammy says, do you do like a group on YouTube for me to join? What do you mean, do you do like a group on YouTube for me to join? I don't understand what that means, I'm afraid. I have no idea. Sky are celebrating the safety car. Sport, game's gone. Frankly, the game's gone when we're celebrating the safety car. Safety car is just there functionally. We should not be celebrating it, in my opinion. Absolute state of that. Nonsense. Bass is in C bass, not as in drum and bass. Okay, good to know. Like a Discord. Sammy, do you seriously not know about our Discord? Are you joking? Are you joking? Hello chat and Kireth, happy to have all the dads here in America. Funky, you were included. T66 if you here as well, even though it's held on a different day where you're from. So Bob Nacho in the chat, we had a coaching session yesterday on Gran Turismo, and I can't believe this, but we got 3 seconds off Bob's time, which is up there with... There's someone else I coached has got 4 seconds off, but that's the second highest I've ever seen in a coaching session. To get 3 seconds faster is a great thing. Very successful coaching session there. Membership you can join if you want. Feel free to join. You see anyone who's got a green thing, they're members, and you basically get some cool emojis and exclusive access to the members lounge, which is very nice. Oh, Brywood's ordered grilled fillet. I want to understand. I'm presuming you're from England by your flag. I just want to understand so when you've ordered it, are you hitting a minimum spend there on a chicken burger, or is this not? How do you, or have you ordered more? Let us know, Brywood. Countdown Dar says, sir, you sound like Lando. Really? Has everyone seen my video with Lando Norris? I need to have a play. You know what? I'm going to create a playlist that's just me and F1 drivers and WEC drivers and like that. So if you like the real world stuff, you can see it. And then I'm going to upload them all onto a different channel. So I'll have a different channel that's just motorsport as well. How about that? And the amazing thing about Bob Nacho's coaching session, I've checked that everyone's okay for this to be made public, but the amazing thing about that coaching session is that coaching session was paid for by Funky Monkey and T66 in the community. So Funky and T66 basically gifted Bob a coaching session, and we got Bob 3 seconds faster in Gran Turismo. How cool is that? That's just awesome. That's nice stuff. Sammy had school, but you finessed the exams. Did the exams finesse you? Did they come with those weird questions and you just sitting there like, I actually don't understand the question? We've all been there in exams, right? Where you're ready to go, you open up the booklet, you're like, I've got this. And you read the question, you're like, I don't even understand what the question is. Just become a YouTube streamer. Welcome, Danny from Bosnia. Good to see you. Bosnia. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, happy Father's Day to all the fathers and or children. Even if you're an adult child, you're still a child. Is that how what's it called? Brywood grilled chicken burger with fries and a canapa for £8 was £8, 80p. Grilled chicken burger with fries and a canapa for £8 is actually not too bad, I would say, if you really want a chicken burger. Because you got exactly what you want: chicken burger, fries, and a can of a fizzy drink. Now, if I want to be really harsh, I could say you could just buy a pack of like, what is it? Is it 8 or 16 cans? But the thing is, right, and you could also make a burger at home, but it's very difficult to get the fries at home the way they fry it at the burger shops. Very, very, very difficult. Sammy got a straight ABC. Is that A-levels? Getting a clean sweep, the ABC. Half an hour to go till race start, by the way. They're still talking about safety cars on Sky. Just absolutely smashing it over the safety cars. Frankly, I couldn't really care less. I'm in a little village up north, so the prices are good. Okay, is it like a local delivery where the guy comes in a little car? Those are the best deliveries. Down in London, there's just like a million motorbikes, mopeds. Like a swarm. Sammy, I'm making channel, got 72 subs so far. best luck, Sammy. We do give out some tips and tricks in our Discords. Have a YouTube tips and tricks section. I also have a membership tier where I give bespoke advice on to people on how to grow their channels, because there's some hacks you can do basically to get free growth, which I don't talk about publicly because I don't want them to patch them. Welcome Marcio as well, good to see you. Good to see you. Sammy's only done it for a month. Sammy, doesn't that coincide with your revision period? Is there a correlation there with when you were meant to be revising and when you started your YouTube channel? Do I sense? Is that possible? So, should we be getting ready for a grid walk soon? They're still talking about the safety car. Fantastic.
You're doing a good job.
Chat, I want to hear more about what we're eating, what we're getting ready to eat for the race. 28 minutes to go. Let us know in the chat, what are you snacking on? Anyone having anything bigger than a snack? We're going to call the race here for you live. I'm looking at a replay of a race, I think when Nico Rosberg or Hamilton was driving, and they were on the purple Ultra Soft tyres, I think it was. Weren't the purple the Ultra Softs? Anyone remember the Ultra Softs? So it's interesting that back then they started on the Ultra Softs, but today no one's anticipating starting anything other than the medium or hard tyre, but slightly different with the way that the compounds work. Clack D's got popcorn. I can't do popcorn, it's just a bit too sticky and not really going to work, is it, for a stream? Sammy's got peach iced tea. Welcome back, Clack D, good to see you. Christopher's drinking his lunch, having a liquid lunch. Kate's just having a drink so far, but looking forward to see some inspiration for the chat. They're saying cooking Father's Day breakfast. Very nice. Danny, just water and chips. Water and chips. Okay, hang on. If you're in England and you say water and chips, that's just the saddest meal. Like, not in an offensive way, but it just feels sad. But if you're American, you're saying water and crisps, it's a little bit different. Can you confirm, Dania? But I think you said you were from Bosnia. So what does it mean in Bosnia? John Boss is going for the popcorn. Very nice. Marche saying Hypersofts were goated. Was it Hypersofts or Ultrasofts? They weren't Hypersofts, they were Ultrasofts.
It's shocking.
Where are you getting the Hypersofts from?
Let's focus.
Sammy, I just had some leftover honey chicken. Whoa. Very nice. Chris was also on the Bud Light. Very nice. Clack D just came from the movies. I saw Elemental. I don't know what Elemental is, I'm afraid. I can't remember the last time I went to the movies. Too much time streaming and making videos. Ant Sharma says 11 PM night, India. I like how your message is just very focused, no fat on it. 11 PM night, India. You could have written 2300 and saved even more characters, but I like your style there. Vlaka says today is snack and wine day, first F1 then football. Is it Croatia playing later on in the Nations League? The Nations League final? Cartoon movie about the elements. Okay. Sounds good. I'm watching Hypersauce were a thing too. Okay, I did not know. Did not know that Hypersauce were a thing. Martin Brundle's on the grid. Are we going to see any famous people? Let's find out. All the admins are walking around, tweeting stuff, TikToking stuff. That's what they do. That's the life of being an admin. Do we have any admins in the chat? Who's this? Is this Andretti? And it's oh, I should know who it is. Give me a little pop-up. I should know. I don't know. I didn't get a pop-up. Martin Brun's interviewing someone that I feel like I should know who it is, but I don't. It's not chips like fried, it's potato chips like Lay's or like Walker's. Okay, fine. So that water and chips I think is that's okay. Alex Times when Valencia was on the podium, yes. Valencia track is now just completely disused, isn't it? Clack D asking who's going to win Piastri. I don't. Depends if there's going to be rain. We've got the radar on, so if you see any rain creeping on the radar, then that'll be interesting. But no rain so far, I have to say. there's a lot of mechanics around the Ferrari car basically trying to stop photographs of the floor because they've got the Ferrari lifted, Charles Leclerc. The Sky cameraman's trying to get a picture, but some Ferrari mechanics just literally slotted his bunda right in the way. They got the Ferrari mechanic with the biggest arse just to stand in front of the camera. So, Ferrari, you keep on Ferrariing. They've now boxed in Martin Brundle. It's like a police stop. Some crazy scenes down here on the grid. They've lifted Charles Leclerc's car up on the jacks, and they're just standing like a wall, like in football. They've got their arms around each other.
Okay, so safety.
Are they going to jump?
Positive on the Delta.
Something happened there, I don't know what happened. Kate's got some peaches out in the chat. That's a photograph. Hang on, we'll get taken down. That's a photographic representation of what's happening down on the grid at Charles Leclerc's grid slot. Welcome to Brit. I'm saying Alonso. Martin saying Jos Verstappen will win. You come from 30 years in the past. By the way, it's sort of mixed cloud over Montreal circuit, Gilles circuit right now. Martin saying Martin's Herald. Welcome, Dan86. Good to see you. Good to see you. And now they're lowering the Ferrari. They've got an electronic or a hydraulic jack or something, and they're lowering it. So maybe now we'll see the Ferrari mechanics disperse. But obviously, some last-minute changes to Charles Leclerc's car within Parc Fermé regulations. Can't really make any substantive changes to the car. Alex Albon, by the way, has been promoted to P9. I don't even think he set a lap in Q3. And he's having an interview now. Great for his sponsors. Duracell, Stevens, and Golf. What is Stevens? Anyone know what Stevens is? How much would it cost for us to crowdsource some sponsorship on Williams? What if we offered them £500? Would they actually put a sticker on the car somewhere? Funky saying Jos V is doing rally these days. Didn't know Jos was still racing. See, it's like a DAS championship with Carlos Sainz Sr. Welcome back, ACPW as well. Let us know, by the way, if you just joined in the stream and you've been here before, or you're a newcomer, so we can welcome you. Underneath, yeah, get it on the floor. But imagine when they crash it and it gets on the crane, and everyone's like, "What's the Kireth YouTube channel?" Why is Hulk fifth? Grid penalty, unfortunately. Grid penalty for the Hulkenberg. For the Hulk. Sonoda's last. Yes. Grid penalty as well for Sonoda. It's not last because Guan Yu Zhou's last, but big grid penalty for Sonoda. So that explains what's happened there with Nico Hulkenberg. It's a bit of a blow for the Haas team, but I think if you asked them before qualifying if they take a P5, they probably would. Let's be honest. Let's be real about it. But yeah, Alex Albon getting into P9 without setting a time. Very, very, very efficient. I like it. How are we doing on the poll, by the way? The poll is saying your predictions, 20 minutes to go till the race, and your predictions have Verstappen 59%. No one really fancying Alonso, which is interesting. Alonso starting in P2. What if Alonso manages to get ahead of Max Verstappen and just play it very defensive? I think Alonso would relish being in the lead here, or will we see Max Verstappen just go out in front and manage to get a free pit stop? That's going to be the question. What's Sergio Perez going to do? What tyres are people going to start on? Are we going to see people at the back go for one stop starting on the hard tyre? Maybe. Martin says, best channel this is. Thank you so much, Martin. Much appreciated. Sammy, why don't I have a feeling Piastri will spin out on the first lap? Oh, maybe because he will. Maybe you've seen the future. Alex says, maybe something different for today's race predictions on how Ferrari will mess up today. We need to do a bingo card.
No
Chat.
into the control line.
We've done it before. We do a bingo card and I pin the link and then we play bingo. There's still time. If someone can create a Kireth, what is it? What's this called? F1 Live Canada bingo card and host it online. I say host it, just upload it. We can pin it as a link and then we can play bingo. We've done it before on streams when I've done like 6-hour streams, 12-hour streams, we've done it. Mike says, I follow you. It's a bit ominous. Like everywhere when I go to the shops. Kate says, I don't see the poll on my phone. Kate, Kate, you will not have the poll. You will not have the poll. Dimitri, if Alonso gets P1, he'll only lose it if Aston bins the pit stop. Nah, we'll just get undercut. We'll just get undercut by Max. How's the rain looking? There's no rain on track right now, as the drivers make their way towards the front for the Anthem. I don't think there were any real celebrities on track, which is quite refreshing. But keep an eye on the radar. We've got the live radar there for Montreal, so you'll see before anyone else if that rain is going to arrive. 20% chance of rain. We will see. Is it going to be one of those ones where the rain might be coming, and people are sort of holding out for it, a little bit like we saw at Spain. Oh, I say no celebrities. This is Gordon Ramsay on the grid. Gordon Ramsay's kind of aging, but he's not aging. He's aging in a weird way. Like, Gordon Ramsay's like aging, like the inside of him is aging, but they're doing a lot of work on the outside to try and stop it coming to the outside. Is that a bit harsh? But like, with sunglasses, he looks the same as he looked 20 years ago. Most people don't look the same as they looked 20 years ago. Do I look the same as when I started streaming 3 years ago? Sammy says, should I study after this? If you got an exam, I'd probably recommend it. I'd probably recommend you study now, unless you're having a designated, like, break. Will the Markles be at their home GP today? I don't know. Is it their home GP? I didn't know it's their home GP. Don't really follow all of that stuff. Esteban Ocon's looking pretty happy. He wasn't quite promoted. He could have been promoted up to P5. Hulkenberg got a 5 grid place penalty, but he didn't. But when you compare where Ocon is to Gasly, I think Ocon will take it. And also he had the failure in FP2, wasn't it? Max Verstappen's on his way to the grid for the Anthems. The sponsorships in motor racing are quite crazy, aren't they? Is there any other sport that crams as much sponsorship? It's a bit like YouTube, because this whole YouTube, like everything here pretty much is paid for by advertising revenue. We're very lucky to have the donations like we had earlier from 00083 and also the members you see in chat as well, like Josh, Dimitri and Funky. But the majority of the revenue comes from advertising. So maybe I should put more adverts on the stream. Maybe I should advertise like local like mechanics and stuff. What do we think? No, football doesn't have as many advertisers. When I go to West Ham, there's not as many advertisers in the whole stadium as there are on one Formula 1 overall. And if you're just joining us, 15 minutes to go, by the way, to the race. And should be an exciting one with Fernando Alonso starting in P2. I don't know, by the way, if that's the inside or the outside for turn 1. But remember, it sort of inverts, because turn 1's a left-hander. Oh, there is actually a kink. There will be a slight kink, but it won't really affect anything. But then you'll compress into a left-hander and then go into a right-hander. And you really want to be on the inside going through the chicane. Because if you're on the outside, you're going through a chicane, you're in danger of being put into the wall. Dimitri says, I have rallying season this summer, but I have to miss it because of health. I'm sorry to hear that, Dimitri. I'm hoping you can follow it on TV. I know you're a big fan of the Acropolis rally down in Athens. Dimitri has actually invited us to go down. We've got an invitation from Dimitrian. Oh, Jack Villeneuve's on the grid. The man who I saw at Spa. Then he just threw a massive hissy fit about his Floyd Vanwall car. And he retired basically from WC. I think he was going for the Triple Crown, maybe. Printer's back with a beer. That was a long trip. Isn't it? How many flights down to the beer cellar? Exactly, Alex says, as long as you're there for next season, there'll always be a next season. It's time for the Anthem now on track. So I think it's going to be time for us to remove the browser there, and we can just go straight onto the map. I have to go to the shop. Very nice. Hey, Base Gamer, and good to see you. Bo, did last lap manufacturer go for yo, Keith? There's quite a few typos in that one. I don't know. We were streaming this yesterday, so I don't know how manufacturers went. But I did make a video this morning on getting 2 million credits in Gran Turismo 7 if you want to get it. 2 million credit guide. Flack is saying planning is the key. Yeah, but to be fair, I'm quite bad with scheduling the streams. Collecting saying, hope you brought. Yeah, did you get beers for the chat for anyone who's able to drink and allowed to? George Russell just looks like he's posing for the cameras constantly. Marshall doesn't look like we're getting rain today. Where's that intel coming from, Marshall? You just never know at Canada. Prince sending you a virtual one. You're gonna say, is that going to be via emoji? Is that going to come through the emoji system? Right, the grid is clearing now. And we're getting very close to the cars going underway on the formation lap. This I'm excited to see. At Canada, basically a street circuit, the wall's very, very, very close. But then you actually have a big straight for overtaking, so it's a fantastic circuit in my opinion. And also the double DRS is... had to play some 4D chess there. Brightwood saying, does anyone think George Russell looks like Woody from Toy Story? I'll put a hat on him and see. Is there a beer emoji? Yes, there is. But did you get a flagon or did you get a bottle? Yeah, only send the beer emoji and receive it if you're actually over the drinking age in your country. They've got some Canadian guards and all of their hats are at a very jaunty angle. It's like they've fallen off. Maybe there was a gust of wind. They're not straight on their head. It's like a little bit embarrassing. How many safety cars today we think? I'll be happy to see one because we didn't get any in Barcelona, even though Barcelona was predicted, I think 50% safety car. Wasn't it 75% VSC? I think we're more likely here to get a safety car than VSC. You never know in Canada. You mean the UK? Yeah. Well, it's rained today, I think. It's cloud just into the sun there. Right, they're clearing the mascots. I think that's Stefano Dominicelli awkwardly high-fiving some of the mascots. And almost at the 10-minute mode. Andrew was saying, let's get ready to burn some rubber. Yes, indeed. Indeed, Andrew. I'm quite excited for this. I like the build-up because the tension really builds. Bob says, ads. I have YouTube Premium, so in my theory, majority skip ads. So you're losing out on ad revenue yet. But yet, if you're a YouTube Premium member, you still get... Yes. Although, if you skip an ad, the creator still gets revenue. But I work with quite a lot of partners where I'll say to them, look, I'll build an ad into my video for you if you pay me directly.
It's shocking.
And remember that show, The Mountie, I think it was, Canadian Guy in America? I don't know that one, great. Sammy says, can my drink be an aged peach iced tea? I think that's fine. I think as long as there's no alcohol in that. Bryce says, stop thundering and lightning up this way. The drivers are getting ready to jump into the cars, by the way. Helmets are going on.
Sounds like there's been contact.
Prince, do I do this full-time? Yes. If you've seen my video, I talk about what it's like to be a full-time YouTuber. Hopefully a helpful video for a lot of people. You're wondering, what is it like to create content for other people's enjoyment, and that's what you do every day? Very fortunate and frankly very privileged to be able to do this. So I want to make the most of it and make sure that I'm creating the most content for you guys and girls. Dimitrian, I just got news from my mechanic that my rally car is having heat problems, so I'll go and check out and I'll be back with news. Let us know, Dimitrian. And frankly, I did not know that you have a dedicated rally car. What? You have a rally car? Is that a thing in Greece? You have like your like one that you go to the shops and then you have a rally car? Under 9 minutes ago, Sky have gone to what might be the last advertising break. The poll is saying Verstappen, by the way, 58% to win. If he wins this, we may as well pack up the whole season and just give him the trophy, frankly, and save the fuel, save the environment. Oh, the Sierra Cosworth I was telling you about. The Sierra... Have you posted any pictures of that in Discord? If you have, maybe I missed it, but... Las Vegas GP coming up. Are we excited for Vegas? Las Vegas, what a place. Anyone in chat been to Las Vegas? And it says 804 viewers, only 51 likes. Wait, it's not 804 viewers, it's 86 viewers. But I agree, let's pump up those likes. We can get those likes to 100. If you like what we're doing, genuinely the best thing to do is like the stream, make sure you're subscribed, because it sends out good signals to the algorithm. Otherwise, it's just like TikTok people getting all the likes and getting all the algorithm stuff. Prince says, as an American, I apologise in advance for the Vegas GP. What's there to apologise for? What's not going to be good about the Vegas GP? Sonny, please, what time will the race start? There's a timer on screen letting you know there. Thanks, Andrew. Oh, thanks, Clack D, for the double like. Coming in with a double. Prince, I've been to Vegas many times. I don't have a high opinion of it. Oh, no. Not a fan of Las Vegas. Alex has been to Amsterdam. Yeah, Amsterdam's not really on the same plane as Las Vegas, though, is it? We're a little bit... Having been to both, they are a little bit different. 7 minutes to go. Let's get Kireth 50k. Oh, you know what? At this rate, we will do it. At this rate, we will do it. Keep on grinding. Keep on delivering good content. Trying to improve all the time. Who is Stroll taking out on the first lap? I will call it as I see it. I will call it as I see it, everyone. So I will keep you abreast. We've just gone over the 100 viewer mark. I will let you know exactly what's going on. And exactly how I see it. Have I been to Canada? No, I was meant to go to Canada during COVID. I was meant to go to Vancouver during COVID. But COVID hit, and I actually lost quite a bit of money with all the flights and stuff. But so looking forward to going to Vancouver. We'll go again. Go again. One of those cities is livable. What, Vegas? Vegas seems to be too much of an indie circuit, too many straights. We'll see. They obviously want to go down the strip, right? But it's going to be mad. What are the hotel prices that week in Vegas? Must be mad. Thing is, you may as well stay like somewhere else off strip and just come in every day. Although, if it's like Monaco, you won't. I don't know. Is it going to be like the Monaco of Las Vegas of America? Prince Chet, Prince, let us know. What's the damage?
Currently 15.
What's the damage, Prince, on the hotels? $600 per night off strip. What's the price normally to stay in Las Vegas? Platt, wish I could go to Vegas. Alex, 10k minimum, I bet in Vegas. Alex with the big bets. Alex doesn't bet unless it's minimum 10k. Right, we're doing the credits. We are almost going to go on formation. Normally off strip you only pay $56 per night. That seems very cheap. Is that because there's so many hotel rooms, or is it subsidised? Beef and Barley says hello from New Mexico, USA. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for joining us, Beef and Barley. Looks like your icon is a black hole with an event horizon. Very nice. Vegas hotels are notoriously cheap to attract visitors to the casinos. Okay. Okay. Vegas, they're going to make so much money when F1 rolls in town, but it's going to be so disgustingly like elitist, isn't it? everything is going to be expensive, and if you're an F1 fan who lives sort of on the west coast side of America, you would just be completely priced out of everything. But that's kind of everything about F1 at the moment, isn't it? That's the thing about Monaco, is like as I've said in my videos, you don't actually need to have a lot of money to go. You can take the train in and walk around and get a lot of access. I think people think it's very expensive, and therefore a lot of people don't go. Getting very close, by the way, to the start of the race. Just under 4 minutes till the start. I'm going to restart the race, by the way, so we'll have that on simultaneously when we get a little bit closer. Yes, we're nearly there everywhere. Everywhere? Everyone. Getting very close. I'm excited. Another race. Really enjoyed spending Sunday a couple of weeks ago with you for Spain. And now we're going to do the same thing at Canada. One of my favourite circuits to drive. Done quite a few endurance races here. Really, really, really enjoy it. Really enjoy going through the chicanes. You know, chicane's all about braking as late as possible and getting a good exit. Canada for me is a great circuit. A circuit that's hosted one of the most races in F1 actually since inception. Rip the devilfish. What was the devilfish? David says hello from Key West, USA. Let's do an updated roll call just before the race starts. If you can let us know where you're watching from, I'll do the call here. Let us know in the world where you're watching from today. Will be great to see. There we go. The beacon's gone up. Starting grid, by the way. Guan Yu Zhou in 20th. Snowden down in 19th with a penalty. Will he start from the pit lane? No advantage probably. Logan Sargent in 18th. Not bad for Logan. Nick De Vries in 17th. So really bad for AlphaTauri. Then Lance Stroll in 16th and Pierre Gasly in 15th. Both those drivers will be 10 places up. Valtteri Bottas in 14th. Kevin Magnussen in the 13th. So big missed opportunity as well. And then we've got Perez in 12th. Carlos Sainz in 11th. Absolute disaster for those two. Who's going to have a better race out of them? Charles Leclerc in P10. Alex Albon, possibly the best qualifying unsung in P9. It's a McLaren lockout with Piastri on P8 and Lando Norris in P7. Then we go to Esteban Ocon in P6. Nico Hulkenberg in P5 because he took that penalty for a red flag infringement. And then George Ross in P4. Lewis Hamilton P3. So it's a second row lockout for Mercedes. They'll be very happy with that. And then on the front row is Fernando Alonso in P2, Max Verstappen in V1. But let's not forget that Max Verstappen was 1.5 seconds quicker than Fernando Alonso in qualifying. So a lot of inherent pace there for Max Verstappen. And there are clouds in the vicinity. Are they rain clouds? I don't know. We've got the radar up there. Now what I'm going to do is restart the race. So we're going to have that live for us as we do the GP. In fact, I'm going to restart it now. Bear with me. And we've got all of the nations in the chat. I'll do a run through of that as well. But it is business time right now. This is what we come for. Have a donut. I wish. I think mini donuts would be great for me on stream. Mini donuts would be great. There are snow clouds. T saying it may snow on track. We are about to go on the formation lap. The cars are being rolled into position. Tyre warmers are coming off. And I can see that Fernando Alonso is starting on the medium tyre, by the way. So Alonso on the medium tyre.
Now we should have good weather for the race, and that will be welcome news for the teams.
Welcome everyone in chat. Welcome just to a full run through. We've got Alex, Prince, John Boss, Janae, Bob, T, Bernard, Snowline. Welcome back, Snowline. Sammy's, my scrolling button's not working for some reason. Black, Niyoko Sonia from South Africa, Xander from Texas, Spy from Jamaica, Brian from Uganda, Mr. Brooks from Gloucester, Belgium's here as well, Bernard van der Acker from the Netherlands, Clacton, Cleveland. Welcome along everyone. Welcome, 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 welcome. Good to see you all. Janae Muntz in the house. By the way, that is, I've just kicked off the F1 Manager stream, but we are on formation lap right now at Canada. We are on the formation lap. Just praying that we're not going to get taken out, stream taken down here with our very realistic stream, but we will see. We will see. And just had 2 Krispy Kremes, very nice. Very sensible, by the way, snacking up right now. Very sensible. Comedy Gaming, welcome on Karma, saying it's tense. Yes, indeed. Formation lap is underway. There you go. You got the standings, you got the tyres. Pierre Gasly looks like he's starting on the soft tyre. Soft tyre for Pierre Gasly. Perez on the hard tyre. Are they going to be able to make that work? We will see. So Gasly might be the only driver actually using the softs in this race. If the stream gets shut down, I will try and go up again immediately. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And then I'll have to see them again. But really hoping it doesn't get taken down, you know, because frankly, it shouldn't. Welcome, Atmospheric 7. But saying enjoy the race, guys. Mods and Kireth, the mods doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, by the way. Great stuff from the mods. Why would it get shut down? You tell me. You tell me. Gasly's gone soft, Perez, Magnussen, and Bottas has gone hard. Rest of media, as you can see here. Let me end that timer as well. Get the timer off. The cars, as I see it, by the way, are going onto the grid. This is it. Welcome, Carl from South Africa. Welcome along, everyone. As I see it, the cars are just coming through the last chicane to fill up the grid. There's going to be a long wait for Verstappen and Alonso at the front. Right, let's go. This is what we came for, everyone. Canadian GP 2023 at Montreal at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve. And we're going to see, you can already see the standings there. Get a little bit of advance. I'm going to call it as I see it. We're going to be a little bit behind on what I call it, but you've got the latest thing. It looks like Hamilton will get past Alonso, though. Would be great news for for Lewis Hamilton. Right, calling it now. The lights are coming down. 4 lights, 5 lights. Lights are out. What is going to happen here? Max Verstappen on the inside, and yes, Lewis Hamilton goes immediately past Fernando Alonso. Straight past Fernando Alonso before the first corner. Deary me, and George Russell tries to go around the outside of Alonso. Is Russell going to get past? Little bit squeezed by Alonso. So Russell and Alonso go side by side into the first chicane, but Alonso manages to gain basically keep the position. But Hamilton is up to P2. Great news for Hamilton here. Is he going to be able to put some pressure on Max Verstappen? Remember, Mercedes looking really, really strong. They can potentially use George Russell to cover off Max Verstappen. If Max Verstappen needs to pit and come up behind Russell, we can see that Russell holds him up. Sergio Perez is in the wars in the midfield. Remember, he's there or thereabouts with Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. Oh, overtake there, I think, from Sainz on Perez. Goes over the chicane. This is the 3rd chicane. It's very windy out on the track. And Perez manages to get it back there side by side, going in a hairpin. It's going to be Sainz trying to go around the outside of Perez, but he can't quite do it. So Perez is now leading a Perez train, ironically. Piastri up to 7th, so Piastri's a winner there. But you can see on the standings, yes, Lewis Hamilton up to P2. Lightning start from Lewis Hamilton. And big battle. Oh, there's a Haas going off there. Kevin Magnussen goes off in the last corner. What happened is, I think Sainz and Perez were battling, and then one of them dived out to the overtake and almost took Magnussen off the track, and Magnussen had to completely cut the chicane. Whether he's gained a position, I don't know. He might have actually lost a few positions there. So Magnussen's not going to be too happy. Nico Hülkenberg, by the way, has been overtaken by Esteban Ocon. So Nico Hülkenberg's down in 6th place, but he'll still be pretty happy. Ocon will be very happy up to P5. And Alonso's in the Mercedes sandwich at the moment. So a lot of drama at the beginning. It's actually Charles Leclerc who did the fastest lap, I think, momentarily. By the way, I will need to extend this out a little bit so you can get the tyres. Let me do this for you. There you go. You'll get the lap times, I think, as well there, if that's done. Or maybe I've done it incorrectly. Doesn't matter. Yeah, you've got the lap times on the right there. Let me just bring that back in for you there. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, it's a big drama there for Magnussen, who's on the hard tyres, so he wouldn't really want to be in the wars too much. But it looks like for me that Charles Leclerc had the fastest lap. That's what it's showing on my radar. But surely Max Verstappen is going to eclipse that. Andrew Moss saying Carlos looks lost again. I think it was Carlos Sainz causing all of that chaos, frankly. How's Pierre Gasly doing on the soft tyre? Not that well. He's behind Sergio Perez. So you can see the battle there was between Sainz and Perez. So Sainz surely will get past Alex Albon pretty quickly. But this is the danger for Perez. If you start in the midfield, you end up doing these midfield battles. Taylor saying go on Ocon. Dan saying Alonso had such a slow start. It was a disastrous start for Alonso on the outside. I mean, Lewis Hamilton was basically ahead within about 15 metres. I'm not even joking. Lewis Hamilton just got such a better start than Fernando Alonso there. Philip saying, nice hold up Russell on first corner. Russell almost went round the outside of Fernando Alonso, but he essentially backed out. He didn't want to go side by side into the first chicane. What happened to Tsunoda? I don't know, but it's a very good point. Tsunoda's ended up behind Guan Yu Zhou. So Tsunoda, who got a penalty in qualifying, is now in last place. Not great for Tsunoda, the sort of person who's calling himself the team captain at AlphaTauri. I mean, no one's going to be thinking about putting Yuki Tsunoda in a Red Bull at the moment, which is not really one from your junior drivers. I'm trying to have a look what happened here. Kevin Magnussen, oh my word! Almost went into the back of Sergio Perez on the back straight, and then he had to do the cut through, and he's going to lose 2 positions. But I just feel like Perez, Magnussen might have just braked really late or something. But Magnussen almost put into the wall by Perez there. Prince says, is it me or is Lewis keeping the gap really close to Verstappen? I don't know. If I remember what happened in Barcelona, it's still a pretty similar gap. What you want to keep an eye here is to the pit loss time. Don't know what the pit loss will be at Canada. It's quite a nice cut through you get in the pit lane, isn't it? You miss out the last chicane and you miss out the first corner. So is it about a 20-second pit loss? So keep an eye on the gap from Verstappen to Hamilton and the cars behind. Keep an eye on the gap from Verstappen to Russell, by the way. Because if Verstappen needs to pit and he's going to come up behind Russell, then Mercedes can potentially do some interesting strategy. Snowline says, go home. Go home, Groundhogs. We've got Groundhogs on the track. Or is it to Hamilton? Russell saying, give me some feedback on strategy as soon as possible. I'm looking at an onboard here with Fernando Alonso. What happened with Alonso? Oh, my word. He was very close to the barrier in the first chicane there. In fact, he touched it. Flash of sparks from the right rear tyre of Fernando Alonso. He hit that wall. Is that going to be any damage for Alonso? Something was sparking. So getting very close. He was trying to extract the maximum possible pace. But I do kind of agree with you that Hamilton is still only 1.5 seconds behind Verstappen. So is Hamilton really going to keep in touch with Max Verstappen? So we'll see. Yeah, Philip saying might have right rear damage. It was a decent hit on the right rear there for Alonso. Have a look at the sector times. I'll keep an eye on the radio as well. He definitely clipped it. A little bit more than clipped it. He really smacked the wall there. Mark says, my F1 video for new audio is not in sync and it's like you see 2 seconds into the future. Nice that we're in the future here. Letting you know what's going on. Snowline's monitoring the gap. 1.9 seconds is the gap right now. But this is the thing. You know, not having Sergio Perez up there means that Red Bull are limited on strategy options with Max Verstappen. They basically try and go as deep as possible and not end up in any traffic. They want to pit after everyone else pits. So if Russell can go deep here, would be great news for Mercedes. Meanwhile, gaps are sort of forming down the field. It's already 32 seconds from Max Verstappen to Yuki Tsunoda. Has Yuki Tsunoda pitted or something? Because it's 18 seconds to Guan Yu Zhou. So Yuki Tsunoda is 14 seconds behind Guan Yu Zhou. Looking at Charles Leclerc here, who's going to be trying to get past Lando Norris. Can't quite do it. We might have a great battle between the Ferraris and the McLarens in this race. Prince saying gap widening. Keep an eye on the gap. Yeah, 2 second gap. But remember, there's going to be only so many laps that Verstappen's going to be able to do on the medium tyre. Is he going to go for a one-stop or a two-stop? We saw in Spain that the Red Bulls were able to do a one-stop, right? If I remember correctly, and the Mercedes were able to push them. So it was the Mercedes and the Red Bulls that had the best tyre wear in Barcelona. The Aston Martins couldn't quite manage them or match them. Welcome to Laura LD and Umberto, by the way, to the community. Thanks for the subscription. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button and the like button if you're enjoying the stream here. Really, really, really helps me out. And the community appreciate it. Yeah, Oscar Piastri is ahead of Lando Norris. I did not see that one coming. And it's all queuing up behind Hulkenberg. Looks like Piastri has managed to get ahead of Nico Hülkenberg. I'm watching here. Piastri was in DRS range of Hülkenberg coming out of the hairpin, so maybe it was in the second DRS zone that he got it done. And meanwhile, Fernando Alonso, if I'm looking at this correctly, is all over Lewis Hamilton. Very close to Lewis Hamilton. So even though Alonso hit the right rear of his car there at the first chicane, he is putting Hamilton under big pressure. I did not expect this. Great to have you, Laura LD. Weather update, have a look at the radar. I can't see anything right now. Verstappen saying, I think the tyres are more vulnerable than FP2. But have a look at Alonso and Hamilton, because if Alonso can get in DRS range, that might be interesting. Piastri's got past Hülkenberg. Is Norris going to do it soon after? You would expect Norris to be able to do it under DRS as well. And there won't be any team orders between the Haas and Ferrari. But remember that Haas is running a Ferrari engine. So the fastest Ferrari car right now actually is a Haas. But nicely done by Oscar Piastri. This could be Oscar Piastri's best race in Formula 1 so far for the rookie driver. Let's have a look if Lando can get it done. Keep an eye on those splits. And keep an eye on the times as well. Yuki Tsunoda in clear air at the back is lapping quicker than pretty much everyone else up to P5, by the way. Yellow flag in Sector 2 I'm seeing. Yellow flag in Sector 2. Not sure what was going on. Why is Sargent last? Just Logan Sargent things. Might have been an issue there. And I'm on board here where Lando Norris cannot get it done around, and Hülkenberg going into the last corner. Had all of the DRS and could not quite get it done. Logan Sargent might be out. Maybe he's retired. Maybe that was the cause of the yellow flag. Possibly. Virtual safety car, by the way. We're on the virtual safety car right now. Maybe Logan Sargent is somewhere on track with an issue. Oh, when you see the cars come halfway through an overtake and going down to VSC speed. Logan Sargent, the car is smoking. So we've got a smoking Williams. Will we see anyone go for a pit stop? What about Pierre Gasly on the soft tyre? Is he going to be in pit window? I do not know. Spam alert, the mods are on it. Don't worry, ESPNUHD.com. We've got everything we need right here. Take this opportunity, by the way, in the VSC to make sure to subscribe. Hit the like button as well. You won't regret it. Having a look here what happened with Logan Sargent. Going through the first chicane. Everything looks good. Goes into the second chicane and something goes wrong. Maybe looks to be some black smoke already coming out the car. Going to be very quick to recover that. Maybe it's not smoke, by the way, from the car. Maybe it's just from the brakes. Want to make sure I get that correct. Looks like the Duracell battery has run out of power. We've all been there with the double AAs. And we are racing again. Yes, under green flag. So very, very, very quick. And Fernando Alonso is again all over the back of Lewis Hamilton, who might have been caught napping there. So Alonso is on the move. And we have the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, who's all over Lando Norris. So Norris was trying to overtake Hülkenberg, but now Charles Leclerc is trying to overtake Lando. So it's a lot of action going on in the sort of, you know, the lower points places. Let's put it like that. Someone did free. Someone did free indeed. Let us know, by the way, in the chat if you're seeing anything from the telemetry as well. Very interactive stream this, as always. It's hammer time Alonso. Snowline saying Hamilton is under big pressure here from Fernando Alonso, and you can see the gaps. There's a little bit of a train forming behind Nico Hülkenberg. He is the cork in the bottle, and that's great news for Oscar Piastri, who's managed to get ahead of Nico Hülkenberg there before the VSC. So what is this going to mean for Max Verstappen? Well, at this rate, Nico Hülkenberg is going to push back all of those drivers and give Max Verstappen a free pit stop ahead of that pack. This is great news for Max Verstappen. Andrew's saying Max made a second under VSC. Is that smart, or maybe is he going to be under investigation? There's a DRS train behind Lewis Hamilton, by the way, as they come down the back straight. But Hamilton is still keeping Max Verstappen still fairly honest. 3.3 seconds. 3.3 seconds as we are on lap 10 out of 70. So if you times that by 6, Verstappen would really struggle at this rate to get a free pit stop. So I think Hamilton is doing a decent job for Max Verstappen. Sorry to hear that, James, but very glad you could join us here. And welcome to Carlise and Remco and Judith Hasnut. Both Remco and Judith sharing a YouTube account. Very nice to see, joining us here. Hamilton, this is a very interesting race because I think you're correct in the chat. Verstappen is not able to get away from Hamilton as we've seen him do in previous races this season. And the pace behind is quite strong from Alonso and Russell. If this was me doing sim racing right now, the three behind, we would be trying to work together as a team to catch up with Max Verstappen. Because as a three, can they put the pressure on Verstappen, basically, and isolate him? What do you do if you're Fernando Alonso here? Do you really go for moves on your ex-teammate, Lewis Hamilton? Or do you try and overtake him? And that might help your protege, Max Verstappen, we will see. Very interesting dynamic at the front. So we got the Verstappen pack, which goes down to Russell, and then a big gap down to Ocon and Piastri, and then you have the Hulkenberg train. And look, by the way, at Sergio Perez all the way down in P12. P13 for Lance Stroll as well. I mean, those terrible qualifying sessions are really hurting those drivers. Carlos Sainz is in there behind the Williams as well. Disasters in qualifying, massively hurting those teams. Atmospheric 7 letting us know it's green flag conditions. Chris saying Hamilton has gained a second every other lap. Well, that's only half a second a lap. So we will see. We will see. Half a second a lap. Wouldn't that be? I'm not sure it is quite half a second lap. That might be. It might be a little bit slower than that. But let us know. Philip, he's only interested in Lewis. Come on, Russell, close that gap. Yeah, maybe Russell can put Alonso under some pressure as well. But Russell's not quite in DRS. Milos says, great stream. Great to have you on board, Milos. Lewis, if you're Alonso, you've got to try and pass and hope the Mercedes squabble. That's a good point. That's a good point. But I do wonder if if you're Max Verstappen, you really hope those cars behind are going to fight. And there is a massive Nico Hulkenberg train. Verstappen on the radio saying he thinks he just hit a bird. Bird strike for Max Verstappen. Is that going to end up in the internals of the Red Bull? Possibly. Oh, and McLaren going to go past Nico, but no, he doesn't. Nico Hulkenberg goes in the pits. Very interesting there. Lando Norris was doing the overtake on Nico Hulkenberg, and Nico Hulkenberg went straight into the pits, and then Lando defends against. It's going to be Charles Leclerc into the wall. Wow. Lando almost puts Charles Leclerc into the pit wall. Charles Leclerc will not be very happy about that at all. Early pit stop for Nico Hulkenberg is basically going to release that train. Now we're going to see a lot of fighting going on. Is essentially George Russell must be in the pits as well. George Russell must be in the pits. I missed it. But you can see there, George Russell dropping down as well. So Russell must have pitted early, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me because I would have thought they'd want to make him go... No! Contact for Russell. He's hit the wall. He's hit the wall. He's not in the pits. He's lost most of his front wing. Oh no, it's gone terribly wrong for George Russell. His race is over. Suspension damage on the back. Safety car is out. What has happened for George Russell?
Good job.
He's got a right rear puncture. Tyre hanging on. I reckon he's hit a chicane there. I reckon he's hit a chicane on the outside. Max Verstappen is boxing, by the way, right now. We're under safety car conditions. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy here. Oh, George Russell, have you bottled it? Have you bottled it? What have you done? Trying to look for a replay here. He forgot to have his Milky Bar. Hamilton's in the pit. Oh, contact between Hamilton and Alonso in the pit lane. Contact. Is that an unsafe release? I think Alonso had his hands up. Get your hands out on the chat. So obviously Alonso was trying to jump Hamilton in the pits. It would have been Hamilton in first, then Alonso. Oh, there might have been an investigation. No, Alonso's going to be on the radio. Get your chilies out in the chat here. It's going to be spicy. And we're under safety car conditions. Verstappen, Hamilton, Alonso, Leclerc and Sainz declining to pit and take that track position. What happened with George Russell here? Going into the third chicane. Is he going to hit the wall on the outside? Oh no, he rides the sausage. He rides the sausage. When you go karting, that's what they tell you. Don't ride the sausage. He goes over the sausage, is unable to turn, and he hits the wall on the outside. Big contact with the right rear. Pure driver error there for George Russell. Driver error moment from George. Deary me, George Russell fans. What are we thinking right now? What has he done? Taylor's crying for Ocon. What's happened with Ocon there? Unsafe release for sure. Was it an unsafe release? Did Fernando, I think, have his hand up? Is Hamilton worried about it? Hamilton was on the radio. I think Alonso's quite smart. Alonso's on the wheel. Alonso was on the wheel. He was doing this. I think Alonso... Oh, that's definitely unsafe by Hamilton. What's Hamilton doing? I'm not sure it was that unsafe. It was quite marginal. There was a delay maybe on Hamilton's right rear tyre. No, Russell. They're trying to fix Russell's car. I'd be amazed if that car is even fixable. They put the front wing on. It's not exactly high. They're trying to fix something on the right rear. They'll want to get him out because it's under safety car. So even if he goes to the back of the grid... They're saying it's good to go. They're saying it's good. They're going to send George Russell out. So interesting to watch here. George Russell is going to go to the back of the grid. He's doing some testing in the pit lane. Wow, that is a robust car if they're able to fix that. Susie's saying, chill out, going to be spicy. Yes, indeed. Toto Wolf did the same as you. Pit lane, Hamilton, unsafe release. Noted. It's been noted. What does noted mean? Noted but no penalty. Is it noted but no penalty? Yeah, exactly. Toto Wolf, look. When you know. Alonso was basically like, nah, this is really unsafe. Oh, no. It wasn't that bad, but there was an unsafe release behind. Lando Norris must have been trying to get ahead of Alex Albon here, and I think that is more of an unsafe release. Oh, I don't know. Alex Albon didn't do the old wiggly waggly that Fernando Alonso did. Noted means they're reviewing it, but I think Alonso made an absolute... Alonso basically dived there. Alonso did a Neymar, and he looked for the trailing leg, and then he stuck out his leg to hit it. Alonso's dived in the pits. Sorry, Fernando, but that's how I see that one. By the way, the Ferrari's declining to pit under safety car. So the Ferraris did not want to pit under the safety car, which is very, very, very interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. It's still under safety car conditions right now. It's going to box everything up. Ferrari have another bottle. They may need to fix the Tech Pro there. The F1 23 adverts are all ripped up. I don't know. How's George Russell feeling? He's going to catch up with the back of the pack here and start and basically try and come through the grid. So keep an eye on George Russell. Can he do a redemption into the points? Philip says Alonso... Yeah, hang on. Whoa. Alonso's not the driver to talk about shenanigans in the pit lane, chat. Do we agree? Do we agree? Alonso in the pits is a little bit rich, right? If you know. Perez didn't pit either, yes. So the Ferraris and Perez deciding not to pit and get that track position. Very interesting. Sammy just heard a voice crack. Taylor needs a drink. Okay. Do we think that's the best strat for the Ferraris and Perez to not pit, by the way? Still under safety car. Still under safety car. By the way, is everyone now going to go to the end who pitted? Because if everyone's going to go to the end who pitted, then that maybe wasn't the best option from the Ferraris and the Red Bulls, unless there's going to be another penalty. Sammy's saying no. George must have eaten the Milky Bar. You know what? I think it's time for me to have a Milky Bar. Have I deserved it? Chat, just let me know yes in the chat if you think I should have a Milky Bar, if there's a Milky Bar in here. Is there a Milky Bar in here? Still under safety car conditions. ACBW saying makes sense for Perez as he's on the bards. Is that Cockney slang? Is he on the Shakespeare's?
Vettel has just pitted.
Black is saying yes. Okay. T's saying no, but screw you, T. I'm going to have one. Lewis saying you can get to the end on these tyres. Okay. Can get to the end of these tyres. Oh, they're all melted. They're going to be all melted. Nah. What's the best one to have that's melted? I'm going to have a cream egg. I'm going to have a cream egg. Wait. Oh, melted chocolate. No. Davina says you sound like a fanboy out for Alonso. I am an Alonso fanboy. I rep Alonso on some of these streams. Welcome Alberto Fanego. By the way, if you're enjoying the stream, I want you to do two things. Make sure you hit the like button. We'll get to 100 likes. We're still on the safety car, by the way. Make sure you subscribe as well. Pump up those subscribes, get us to 50k, and then maybe we'll be able to do these watch-alongs live from the track. Because right now I am full-time, so we could go live from the track and do a watch along live from the track. We have the power to make that happen, so please feel free to like, share, subscribe. Signal saying Alonso will do anything to see Sir Lewis fall. Yeah, still on the safety car right now. Although maybe we're going to go green soon because the gaps there look quite big, don't they? Isn't it quite big gaps down the pack? Or am I overthinking? I think I'm overthinking it. Chocolate is up to operating temperature. Yeah, I put the tyre warmers on the chocolate, so they come out hot at operating temp. Sammy says the chocolate is overheating. I repeat, overheating. Even my Bud Light is now just warm Bud Light. Not the one, man. Ah, the things I do. But yeah, story I think of that first part of the race was the Ferraris and Perez really struggling to overtake, and I think that is the reason why they haven't pitted, because they're now just going to take the track position and hopefully they have the car in clean air. Does that make sense? Rather than struggle to overtake down the back straight, they're going to try and gain that pit stop in clean air. Marcus, if you had a chance to be a driver engineer, which driver would you choose? I'd probably choose... That's a great question. That is a great question. Oh man. Let me know in chat who you would choose. For Marcus's question, if you had a chance to be a driver engineer, which would you choose? Hulkenberg lost out because... I'll tell you why Hulkenberg pitted basically a lap before the safety car. So we're going to go green flag. I'm going to call it as I see it, by the way. We're going to go green flag. Your standings will be a little bit ahead of us here. But we're going to go green flag. I'll see how Max Verstappen does the restart. But that's where Hulkenberg lost out because he pitted not under the safety car. So he lost out. Bottas, Lewis. I think I'd choose Hamilton. I think you could just let him do whatever you want. By the way, Verstappen leaving it very late for the restart, only going as he was turning into the last corner. But it's a good restart there. Colin saying Ricciardo. And there's I think Bottas trying to make a move from Magnussen there on the restart. But otherwise at the front, no change. No change. And I don't think Bottas was able to get that move done on Kevin Magnussen. So what we've got to look out for now, chat, is the gaps. Have a look at the gaps from Verstappen to Hamilton. And then Alonso. Is Alonso going to put Hamilton under pressure? I don't think there should be a penalty for an unsafe release. I think that was just within margin, but it was pretty close. But I'd be... It's one where the stewards, frankly, could go either way. They could go either way on that one. Finish your beer, brother. Yeah, we'll try. We've got another one here as well, but they're too warm. What happened to Sargent? Sargent was the cause of the safety car because his car came to a stop. So George Russell was not the cause of the safety car, if I remember correctly. Everything happening very quickly there. We had Hulkenberg pit. George Russell hit the wall. Keep an eye on Russell, by the way. Have they managed to fix that car or not? You would expect him to cut through the field under the in the DRS zones. And Verstappen needs to do the same thing again. The Norris pit lane unsafe pit lane release where he went ahead of Alex Albon has been noted. That one I think was a little bit more marginal. By the way, Lando Norris is all over Oscar Piastri, and he gets the move done round the outside into turn 1. So Lando Norris showing Oscar Piastri, who's boss at McLaren, going round the outside in turn 1. Both those McLarens are ahead of Alex Albon. But the Ferraris and Sergio Perez have track position, but they cannot go to the end. They will have to pit because you need to pit in a race. You need to go onto a different tyre in a race, so you cannot go to the end. So if they were going to pit now, well, they would go all the way to the back. So they need to really work as a team here and eke out a gap. Who is Dylan Mulvaney and Bud Light? I have no idea who Dylan Mulvaney is, my friend, but good luck to him. Mad Mike saying his car broke. Yes, Logan Sargent's car broke, so we do have retirement here. No retirements in Barcelona, but we already have a retirement here. Hamilton and Alonso is now under investigation. We proceed from being noted to under investigation, unsafe release. What do we think? If you've seen this incident, let us know in chat where you think that should be a penalty for Hamilton. The Lando Norris one is under investigation as well. I personally don't think it should be a penalty, but if it is a penalty, I think Alonso has done everything he can there, a bit like in football diving, to make it seem like it was an unsafe release. So that's the way I see it as a racing driver. If I was in a race and someone ahead of me did that. I've been in plenty of races where people are pointing fingers and when the marshal's in view and stuff like that. Charles Leclerc locking up, by the way, into the hairpin. He's on the medium tyres, where Sergio Perez is on the hard tyres. And you can see there, Magnussen, Bottas, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, the only drivers not to pit. They will need to pit again. DRS is enabled again. Dan saying penalty for Hamilton. Martin saying 5 seconds. Oh, sorry if I don't know about any misgendering. I don't know about any of that stuff, so just having my Bud Light. Hard to judge without Alonso telemetry. Azure saying, will Hamilton get a penalty? John saying penalty for Hamilton. Zero saying this is really tight. And thanks so much for the $5 donation, by the way, earlier, 0000083. Really appreciate it. Thank you, my friend. Hamilton, by the way, is keeping much closer this time around, 1.8 seconds. And again, if you're... McLaren cutting the chicane there. That must have been Oscar Piastri. And then losing out to Alex Albon. So Oscar Piastri was not able to make the last corner. And Alex Albon is having, frankly, an insane race in the Williams. Wouldn't it be great to see Williams not be the slowest car in Formula 1 anymore? We might be able to see that too much. Can we go trackside? Not right now because I'm actually in the UK. I'm not streaming by the track, just in the room here. That would be weird. Trying to see what happened here with Oscar Piastri. Alex Albon basically putting him under pressure. Piastri locked up ahead of him going defensive and had to, I think, basically give the position back because he would have gained an advantage. 5-second gap for the top 5. Yes, indeed. But again, Max Verstappen is in a pretty good position here because he's made his pit stop under safety car. He can go to the end now. Verstappen can go to the end. It's a very different race, isn't it? Unless there's a safety car and people think it's going to be better to go onto faster tyres later on. Welcome Cesar Cataldi, by the way, with the subscription. Absolutely pro-level strat there. How do you watch a race? You've got to watch a race in wherever you watch it in your own territory, my friend. Chris says, I don't know enough about pit etiquette, but it looked like there was very little margin. Well, next thing there was little margin. We'll see. If there's going to be a penalty and I'm Lewis Hamilton, I'm absolutely furious. And if I'm Fernando Alonso and I get told Hamilton doesn't get a penalty, I might have a wry smile and be like, okay, I tried my best. Williams engineering, yeah. Oh, by the way, the Williams team have done an amazing job this weekend on strategy. You know, they're massively hamstrung by having Logan Sargent as one of their drivers. But despite that, they're doing an amazing job getting Alex Albon through to Q3. I think, didn't they get Logan Sargent through to Q2 as well? I can't remember. They did a pretty good job there. Greasing, where is everyone watching from? Yeah, let us know. Greasy's watching from Canada. Maybe by the track. I'm on lap 21 right now. And Fernando Alonso is on the move. Fernando Alonso on the move, setting the fastest lap. Again, we've seen a few laps for Fernando to get the tyres up to temperature. And now he is going to be putting Lewis Hamilton under big pressure. We'll see down the DRS zones. Double DRS here. Hamilton won't have any DRS. And the Ferraris are looking quite strong as well. Something I want you to keep an eye on, chat. Have a look at the gap between the Ferraris and basically Lando Norris. Because Lando Norris was the first car to pit, right? I can't remember if Esteban Ocon might be the first car to pit. So Esteban Ocon, yes. The gap between the Ferraris. Can the Ferraris get a pit stop between them and Esteban Ocon? Because at the moment they are well on their way. Some investigations resulted in no penalty, by the way, because the positions were already given back. Roll call time. Ontario, Netherlands in the house. Is Russell damaged falling off Gasly? I don't think Russell's falling off Gasly. I think Russell's caught up with Gasly. But what Gasly and Russell are doing both down there, I don't know. Alonso overtake. Alonso has got the move done on Lewis Hamilton. We can see it in the standings. I'll call it how I see it. It must be a DRS overtake. Because on my screen, they're about to go into the hairpin. Exiting the hairpin now. So Alonso must have got this done down the back straight or the home straight. Here we go. Is Alonso going to get it done into the last corner? Hamilton kind of goes defensive, but not defensive enough. Again, Hamilton is not a driver who really likes to go very defensive, I have to say. But maybe this is going to be a real battle between Alonso and Hamilton. Maybe Hamilton's going to sit behind now. Maybe keep some of the energy in reserve, fuel save a little bit, keep the tyres in the operating window, and then come back at Alonso later in the race. They are both on hard tyres. They're both going to go to the end. Who's going to win between Alonso and Lewis Hamilton? That is an interesting battle. Can't paste a live link in here, T Operandi Enterprises. That's not how we roll. Recommend you just chill out. Chill out with all of us here. But yeah, Fernando Alonso getting that move done. And what does Lewis Hamilton do now? Because this is a real battle between Mercedes and Aston Martin for P2 as it stands. Christopher saying Alonso has a faster car. It might appear that way, but remember it was a DRS assisted overtake. So the Alonso fans are happy. Mark saying it's going to be very good. Chris saying the Ferrari looking good as well. Yeah, like I said, keep an eye on that gap between Charles Leclerc and Esteban Ocon. Because they want to build that pit stop, and then that will have been an actual strategy masterclass from Ferrari. Carlos Sainz on the radio saying he feels he has a bit of pace. Carlos Sainz gently nudging Ferrari to say, hey, let me pass Charles Leclerc. I think Ferrari won't do anything right now, A, because they prefer Charles Leclerc, and B, because they're not under pressure from Sergio Perez. That's what I suspect. But Carlos Sainz is just getting his message early saying, hey, you know, I think I could go a little bit faster here. So wonder if that get relayed to Charles Leclerc. No further action for the Lando Norris pit incident. And by the way, if there's no further action for Lando Norris, I would be very surprised if there's further action for Lewis Hamilton. Because I felt like the Lando Norris pit release was more unsafe. It was unsafer than the Lewis Hamilton one. Yeah, but in terms of the top three, it's a very good point. Because those Ferraris and Perez will have to pit again. So the battle here really for us in the top three is, well, can Alonso keep his good pace going? Can he even close that gap to Verstappen? That would be a shock, frankly. And then what is going to happen between Alonso and Hamilton? Yeah, so if there's no further action on Norris, I'm just going to call it. If there's if they penalise Hamilton after not penalising Norris, in my opinion, that is insane. That is absolutely insane. Andrew saying Alonso and Lewis should pitch up. That's the thing. You know, if they could use DRS slipstreaming in some way to catch up with Max Verstappen, that would be real big brain strategy from them. Real big brain strategy, wouldn't it? Still a long time. We're not halfway through this race yet. There's a long time to go. We're on lap 25 here. If Alonso finishes P2, he will be tied with Perez in points. Wow. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And by the way, Charles Leclerc, what is the pit loss here? Anyone know what the pit loss? Oh, turn 10 incident involving car Norris noted driving unnecessarily slowly. Norris under investigation again. I think that might be the third time Norris had been investigated this race. Driving unnecessarily slowly. So I think the hamster never gets penalised. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton has always been on the favourable end of FIA stewarding decisions, as we know. Greasy saying Snowline aggressive, winter's not over. I think it's snowing where Snowline is. Fernando Alonso, by the way, with the fastest lap of the race. Fastest lap of the race for Fernando Alonso. So keep an eye on those gaps between Alonso and Max Verstappen. Very, very, very interesting. Andrew heard it's about 19 seconds. Don't worry, Sammy. I'll try and keep everything simple for you as I can. But yeah, Fernando Alonso seems to be managing that gap kind of decently. And if there's another safety car, would Alonso be able to send it? Who knows? I expect safety cars in this race with people hitting the barriers. Anthony saying Lumfao, best comeback in history. But keep an eye on the Ferraris, keep an eye on Sergio Perez. They are building that gap. If it is about a 20 second... If it is about a 20-second pit stop... By the way, will we see people go and do a two-stop strategy? It's still possible if people think it's faster. But Charles Leclerc now has a 20-second gap to Lance Stroll. So he needs to keep eking that out. He needs to get another 10 seconds, basically. Should I get the F1 Pro package or regular subscription? No idea, because in the UK that doesn't matter. You can't see it. You need to be on Sky to see it. Norris being investigated for driving too slowly. Yeah. How embarrassing. We just think you were driving too slow. It's like, oh, driving as fast as I could. No, we're going to investigate you because you're driving too slowly, mate. Keep an eye on the weather radar as well, because there was a 20% forecast of rain for this race. Welcome to Penfold Gaming. By the way, if you're enjoying the stream, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let us know in the chat so we can give you a shout out. But here we go. Fernando Alonso is managing that gap very, very, very nicely. Meanwhile, Alex Albon is trying to get past Kevin Magnussen. So there's a battle between the... but I want to say something, by the way. We saw Nico Hülkenberg qualify in P2, and he's now down in P15, and Magnussen's in 11. So it's not always about where you qualify, but he was the hero for about 4 hours, and now no one's talking about Nico Hülkenberg. Absolutely no one at all. Slam your Bud Light. Ugh. What if I got a nice new cold Bud Light? Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be awesome? Bud Light's not great at the best times, let's be honest, but when it's cold at least. Alonso trimmed 0.3 seconds last lap. Okay, okay. Looking good then, looking good for Alonso. Yeah, Mark said it wasn't going to be a good race for Nico Hülkenberg, but I have to say it's absolutely disastrous. Fernando Alonso still with the fastest lap, and he is matching Max Verstappen. This would be a real turning point in the season if we saw Aston Martin actually have faster pace than Red Bull here. Really something special. Yeah, is anyone having some refreshments in the chat? Let us know what refreshments. There's Aston Martin in the pit. That must be Lance Stroll. Is that indicative of... Why is Lance Stroll in the pits? Lance Stroll is going on to a 2-stop strategy. Maybe they felt like he was kind of nowhere and they're putting him onto a new set of hard tyres. So he's done a very short stint on mediums and he's doing 2 long stints on hards. Does that show that this really is a 2-stop strategy race, and therefore Verstappen is going to need to pit again, in which case he would be vulnerable to an undercut? Stroll pitting. Sachina Dan Sen saying tinfoil prediction, someone going to bin it near the ending laps, possibly. ACPW saying Max is dialing it back. Everyone on hards except Ferrari. Yes, and Ferrari need to pit again, by the way. They need to pit again. Welcome to Dominic Toretto in the chat. By the way, I hope it's all good with you. Verstappen's been on the radio, maybe complaining about the tyres as well. Fernando Alonso is managing that gap a lot better than Lewis Hamilton could. It seems pretty clear that at this stage of the race, Alonso has better race pace than Hamilton. How is it going for Charles Leclerc? Well, he's now within a pit stop maybe of coming out about P11, maybe P10 soon. So the Ferraris are doing a really good strategy here. Anthony saying Hamilton is tyre saving. Is George in the DRS train? George Russell is on the back of Pierre Gasly. It's a disastrous race for Gasly and Russell. Gasly obviously was impeding in qualifying, and George Russell's just having a terrible race. Obviously binning the car, but amazing they managed to even get it out. So he's there or thereabouts. But frankly, that strategy only really works if he can overtake. Welcome to Clorus Bleach in the house. Science saying switch red. I'm happy in mode X. Wait box, not yet. Stay out, stay out. Oh no, Ferrari have done a stay out, stay out. Ferrari don't know what they're doing. Ferrari need to just keep going on that pace as long as they possibly can, and only box when they're ahead of a lot of drivers. That I'm telling you, Ferrari, that I'm giving you the strat for free. By the way, Lance Stroll was forced into the pits. Lance Stroll, I'm pretty sure, did not want to pit. This is, if I'm calling this right, someone defending against Lance Stroll, and basically Lance Stroll had to go into the pits. Is that what happened? Is that what happened with Lance Stroll? Can anyone confirm? He was basically on the outside going into the last corner, couldn't turn in, and had to go into the pits maybe, but the pit crew were ready, so I don't know. Yeah, but they had the tyres ready. I don't know. Chat, let me know what happened there with Lance Stroll. Let me know what happened there. Welcome to Bernard, Holland, Laura's in Oregon, USA. Chris was saying Daddy's going to fire his son. What a Father's Day present that would be. And saying his team was ready, so I don't think it was forced. It was very weird, though. It was very, very, very weird. I haven't seen something like that for a long time. Fernando Alonso still managing the gap kind of nicely. You know, is he going to think about an undercut? Where would Fernando Alonso come out? He would come out just ahead of Valtteri Bottas. This is the thing now. Sergio Perez comes into play because if Alonso wants to... If there is going to be another pit stop and Alonso is going to pit again, he would come out behind Sergio Perez. So Alonso kind of needs to... Right, Verstappen saying he's losing grip on the tyre. Verstappen saying... I wonder if this is going to be a two-stop race, everyone. I wonder if it's going to be a two-stop race because maybe they pitted earlier on the safety car they would have done otherwise. So this might be a two-start. Nigel saying Stroll was going to come in. Okay. Alex saying Russell must have damage, or maybe he's just stuck in the train because we saw that, you know, the Ferraris and Sergio Perez found it very difficult to overtake here. Very difficult to overtake. So it might be that Russell just is unable to overtake. It's possible. Max is saying, yeah, Alex says, but the gap's still growing. I would say Fernando was doing a very good job of managing the gap. Very, very, very good job. Excellent job by Fernando Alonso. Because if there is going to be a second pit stop here, he could potentially try and do some form of undercut. How the Ferraris doing? The Ferraris would now come out. Yes, I think in P10, the Ferraris would come out. So they would sort of maybe split the McLarens. Can they go any faster? Meanwhile, Sergio Perez is not having the best race at all. And we are still not halfway through the race. There's a long time to go. Long time to go. Plenty of time for a safety car. George Russell, I don't know what's happening. I mean, either the car should be fixed or it isn't. Chris saying Max is flying. Hope the tyres hold up. Maybe Max is trying to eke out a gap now. But there's going to be a big shock if we see any of the top cars pit. But why did Lance Stroll pit? Because if you can go to the end, why would you pit? Maybe Lance Stroll has less to lose. Maybe they wanted to get some information on the new tyre. Maybe some information on the new tyre from Aston Martin. Aya says, do you know who has the fast pit stop so far? I don't know, but Nico Hülkenberg is in the pits again. So Hülkenberg, who is down the grid, has decided to do his second pit stop. So maybe we are going to see more pits here. Meanwhile, I'm going to pit someone in our race here. There we go. T says drop Stroll, sign some random spectator. I'll do it. I'll do it. Virtually the halfway point. Yeah, almost at the halfway point. Hulk just behind Stroll. Yeah, they both pitted. So what does this mean in terms of the tyre wear here? So we have Sergio Perez can be a rolling blockade for Fernando Alonso. That is the big thing right now. So do they just keep out Sergio Perez? But remember, Sergio Perez has gone... When did these guys pit? Maybe lap 12 or something? I can't remember. Sergio Perez has gone quite a lot further on his hard tyre. And the Ferraris are doing a really long stint here on the mediums. The Ferraris are going longer on the mediums than anyone else in this race. But I think it's working from them. And I think Charles Leclerc might come up now in P9 if he were to pit. Mark says, how could Alonso Hamilton successfully undercut Verstappen? They couldn't, maybe not undercut him immediately, but they could put him under pressure. They could force Verstappen to cover them. What you could have is here, let me explain it. You could have Hamilton could pit. Oh, I don't know. 1 second, let me just do this. Alonso could pit and force Verstappen to cover him, and then Hamilton could go to the end. So that's what I mean. There could be lots of different ways of doing this. Lots of different ways. Andrew says, happy 14th birthday to my son. Brandon just joined us. Happy birthday. Get some birthday cakes out for Brandon in the chat there. Happy 14th to Brandon. Watching some Formula 1. Very, very, very nice. Snowline's got some deer and porcupines. Very nice. Clack says, 800 people in chat. Drop a like. Yes, please, please, please. Hit that like button, by the way. Really helps me out. We're just an individual person here on my end trying to do all this stuff with a great community. That's you. So please do hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I know you can hear me. You won't regret it as well. What's going on track? Getting a little bit overcast now. It's not sunny on track at Montreal as we're about to hit the halfway point. And again, Alonso is doing a really good job of managing that gap. I'm keeping a very eagle eye out on anyone who's going to dive into the pits again and do a second pit stop. And what are the lap times going to be for Lance Stroll and Hülkenberg? 17.1 for Lance Stroll in no traffic. That is Charles Leclerc place. That is basically faster than anyone else other than Lance Stroll is doing Max Verstappen pace. That's the tweet. Lance Stroll is doing Max Verstappen pace. Pierre Gasly, I think, by the way, is also going to the pits. So maybe the strat is going to be to come in. I think we might be expecting another pit stop. I did think people might go to the end, but it looks like that's now not going to be possible. Keep an eye on the lap times from Lance Stroll and Nico Hülkenberg. And what that does is they are basically undercutting people in the midfield, so you might see a cascade. You might see a cascade of pit stops here. Zero's got it exactly right. Zero says the strategy games and play the undercut. We have an undercut waterfall right now. Who else is going to come into the pits because they're at risk of getting undercut? We will see. We will see. You need a different race screen than one in the bottom left. If you can provide me one, mate, I'm all ears. If you can code one up, send it to me in the Discord and we'll add it. George Russell, by the way, might be benefiting. Oh, George Russell's massively benefiting from presumably a lot of people behind him pitting. So this is great news for George Russell if George Russell can convert onto a one-stop, because that means that he doesn't need to... Oh, side by side between a Haas, Russell and an AlphaTauri. That's why Russell has benefited. It was 3 wide going into turn 3, I believe. Oh, contact, contact, contact. Big, big, big. Oh, disaster. Disaster. My word, who is that? Is that Yuki Tsunoda? And which Haas is that? Kevin Magnussen. Or is it De Vries and Magnussen? Oh my word, it's a disaster, this one. It's a disaster. Someone locks up. Someone's reversing onto the track. I think they're both having to reverse. They both went into the escape road at the first chicane because one of them locked up and they hit each other and neither one of them could turn in. So they both needed to go into the escape road. Absolute disaster. Yes, crash. Damage to some of them. Another opportunity for pit stops here. Ferrari came out and are now coming in. I think Ferrari were hoping for a virtual safety car, but the AlphaTauri might have stalled. Is the AlphaTauri on the move? The Haas got moving there. The AlphaTauri's on the move now as well. Going to rejoin. It's going to be a lap behind. Oh my word, he's all over the grass at the chicane. What happened here? So you have Kevin Magnussen getting overtaken by Yuki Tsunoda, sorry it is. Yuki Tsunoda goes up the inside. They make contact going into the first corner. George Russell undercuts both of them. And then what happens into the first chicane, I have to see. So there's already contact between them going into the first corner. George Russell just sees that and just sweeps past both of them. So great news for George Russell. But then it's what happens into the first chicane. I don't think it's going to be a safety car. That's why Ferrari were ready. Then they go side by side into the first chicane. They both lock up. Oh my word. I'll tell you what exactly what's happened here. They were both trying to outbrake each other. Oh, no, 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 it's not what's happened. Yuki Tsunoda's up the inside. They both lock up. I think Magnussen would have been able to turn in, but he can't because Yuki Tsunoda's just locking up all the way into the escape road. So Magnussen can't turn in. He just has to go with him into the escape road. Absolute disaster. I think it flagged up as saying Tsunoda there, but I think you're right. I think it's De Vries, isn't it, from the standings. But basically, De Vries tried to overtake Magnussen, just locked up and stopped Magnussen from actually making the corner. He forced Magnussen to go off track. No safety car, no VSC. It was just yellow flags. They reversed both those cars and they were able to get them going. By the way, have we seen if there's going to be a penalty for Lewis Hamilton or not? I haven't seen that flash up. Can someone in chat confirm, as we go over the 1,000 viewer mark, can someone in chat confirm that there is going to be no further investigation? They're not showing the investigation thing they normally do. Normally when someone's being under investigation, they have a little icon, but they're not doing that. Alonso, yes, still holding on to Max Verstappen. Completely right. Who said that in chat? Alonso holding on to Max. Andrew Moss. Right time for check it, but Ferrari and the Red Bulls did not pit. But Charles Leclerc seems to have benefited massively because Charles Leclerc... Oh, a lot of people behind the pitted. So that undercut waterfall has happened. And surely that is great news now for Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz because they will pit and they will come out. In fact, Sergio Perez is pitting. Sergio Perez is in the pits. Will he come out ahead of George Russell? How on earth has George Russell gone from dead last, half a lap behind, to battling now with Sergio Perez? It's really... What a topsy-turvy race this has been. But great stuff by the mechanics to fix George Russell's car and get him out. And yes, Sergio Perez decided to pit. Interestingly, that the Ferraris, unlike at Barcelona, are actually going really long on the medium tyres here. We saw the Ferraris have to pit very early on the hard tyres at Barcelona, but now they're managing to go long. FIA will save the drama for the race results. I mean, what is going on there with the investigation? Surely they need to decide what they're going to do or not. To me, it seemed not as bad as a infringement as we saw with Lando Norris. Yeah, George Russell up to 9th, Nigel Crompton letting us know. Jan saying if Russell gets points, he's driver say, I don't think we can call him driver of the day because it was a driver error mistake. Science is coming in. Science is coming in. What strategy is Alex Albon on, by the way? Is Albon still on the one stop here? But that's worked out beautifully. Time penalty for car number 4. Unsportsmanlike behaviour. That is Lando Norris. Lando Norris is car number 4, obviously, from the logo. We saw he was accused of driving too slowly, so he didn't get the pit penalty infringement for the unsafe release, but he's been unsporting. Lando's just too slow for Formula 1. You heard it here first. So they are putting hard tyres onto the Ferrari. Going to go to the end now. So it's going to be a one-stopper for the Ferraris this race. Science pitted, but interestingly, they haven't pitted Charles Leclerc yet. Are they doing different strats? They need to pit Charles Leclerc because he hasn't made his pit stop yet. But oh no, he's on the pits now on the standings. You can see he's going to pit. So Hamilton's being told to use his tyre up. So Hamilton, I think we're on a two-stopper race here. Apart from the Ferraris, I think the Ferraris and Perez are going to be the only teams to do a one-stop. I think everyone else, and maybe Russell, I think Alonso, Hamilton, Verstappen will pit. I think how this will work is Hamilton will pit. That will force Alonso to pit. And then we will see Verstappen may as well pit as well. So I think we're going to see the rest of the pit stops cascade here. Welcome, RSR. Thanks, Lacku, as well. A lot of great insight coming in on the chat. Afra saying Charles in the pit. Yeah, exactly. Let us know if you're seeing anything in chat, by the way. Always great to see me. I'm on board here with a Red Bull getting past a Williams. Not something you see every day. I'm like, what the hell was that? That was Sergio Perez getting past Alex Albon. And by the way, Alex Albon, what a strategy. Can he go to the end here? He must have pitted on the safety car. Alex Albon with an absolutely great race. How is Alex Albon ahead of George Russell, Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly, both of the McLarens? Way ahead of both of the McLarens. Crazy. Tom Callahan says, what, seriously, F1 is a complete joke with constant penalties killing racing. And Dominic Toretto saying Ferraris ahead of Perez. Very nice. Lewis saying there's no way Perez can make it in the mediums. Do you know anything about the Minister of Tyre Preservation, Sergio Perez? Because if there's one driver on the grid who can make it to the end on mediums, considering the Ferraris have made it this far in mediums, I think it's Sergio Perez. Hamilton be told to box. So Hamilton's boxing and coming out of Charles Leclerc, that forces Fernando Alonso's hand. Unless Alonso thinks he can get to the end here, and remember, Aston Martin have that data from Lance Stroll, Alonso needs to pit to cover off Lewis Hamilton. So Hamilton's pitted as well. So we are on it is a two-stop race for pretty much everyone. 1,000 people watching the stream. Welcome along, everyone. Great to have 1,000 people watching. I really appreciate you. We've got one of the best community on YouTube. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Good stop for Lewis. Philip Dunkley saying. Very, very, very nice for Lewis Hamilton fans. And yes, Fernando Alonso is in the pits. Bear with me.
Positive on the Delta.
Bear with me. Fernando Alonso is in the pits. So we'll see when how far he's going to come out of Lewis Hamilton here. And then what do you do if you're Max Verstappen? Because if you want to get that bonus point for the fastest lap, you need to pit. Turn 2 instant under De Vries and Magnussen under investigation, causing a collision. It should say causing chaos, frankly. And I'd be amazed if Nick De Vries does not get a penalty for that, frankly, because both those cars are now a lap down. So that's absolutely destroyed Kevin Magnussen's race. But frankly, great to see some racing. I say fair play. Fair play those lads for actually racing. Time difference between Hamilton and Fernando, 95 to Darshan Shiwal says. It is 6 seconds, about what it was when they came into the pits. What does Max Verstappen do? There's a 23-second gap. So if they think they can go to the end, they can go to the end. But now's the time to box. and come out about 4-5 seconds ahead. They are now getting undercut. Verstappen is in the process of getting undercut by Fernando Alonso. Yeah, Nick Debris, absolute classic Nick Debris. Sainz fast lap. Now Perez fast lap. Look at the lap times here, 1 minute 16s. As the cars get lighter and on fresh tyres as well. George Russell, by the way, has massively benefited from that. But it looks like to me that Albon and Russell are on 29 lap old hards. Surely not, my word. Can Alex Albon and George Russell go to the end on the hard tyre? They might need to. They might need to. Thanks, Blacken, for the like per hour update. Remember to hit those likes as well, everyone. Perez fastest lap now. Yes, indeed, 16.4. Oh, Leclerc, 16.1. So we need to... And Max Verstappen does pit. Verstappen into the pits. He has to cover off Fernando Alonso. So there we go. We saw it all started with Lance Stroll. Started all these pit stops. So the pit stop industry owes a lot to Lance Stroll there. Because it basically forced everyone above to start pitting. Maybe everyone could have gone to the end on that tyre, but they couldn't risk it because of Lance Stroll. Welcome Remco as well. Good to see you. Good to see you. Great to have you on board. So where are we now? Well, I have to say the Ferraris and Perez have played the strategy beautifully. They decided not to pit under the first safety car because they were finding it very difficult to overtake. That's the reason. They then eked out a whole free pit stop, and they've managed to... They've done an absolute blinder. I mean, we can call Ferrari strategy memes all we want, but Ferrari have done a great job there. And for Charles Leclerc to be 2.5 seconds off Lewis Hamilton is pretty crazy. In fact, are we going to see the Ferraris put Lewis Hamilton under some pressure because Hamilton is going backwards? Yeah, keep an eye on the radar as well for any rain. It is cloudy on track, so it's not sunny on track. Is Lewis losing pace? I think Lewis is losing pace, to be honest. Laura LD says me. Snowland has a racing car. Very, very, very nice. Look at this. Look at the battle between Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton here. It is coming down very, very, very quickly. Very quickly. Imagine if they slap Lewis Hamilton. Are Nick DeVries and Kevin Magnussen still fighting each other? I think they might be. Leclerc's got a radio message saying Sainz will not attack you. Sainz will not attack you. By the way, I think DeVries and Magnussen might still be very close together on track, which is interesting. As we see an Alpine here go past Nico Hülkenberg, that's Pierre Gasly, who's still having a terrible race, to be honest. Ferrari actually working as a good team. Yeah, can we get some claps out on the chat? Chat, I want to see some claps in the chat for Ferrari actually doing top-tier strategy. Get your claps out because we slate Ferrari all the time, but they've done an absolute blinder here. To get Charles Leclerc and Sainz into P4 and 5 on a really good strat is absolutely great. Get your claps out in chat there for Ferrari. Fair play. Oh, Dominic Clackdy. Yes, we love to see it. And honestly, we could be looking at a Ferrari podium here. Because if you're Charles Leclerc, after his frustrations not making it through to Q3 yesterday because of basically team strategy errors, Charles Leclerc will now be doing everything he can to close that 3 seconds. Remember, after 2 seconds he'll get DRS and get into Lewis Hamilton. Welcome, Scars Remain. Please apply to be the strategist. Maybe we should be the team strategist for a team for a week. Look at that. Look at that. All of the claps coming out for Ferrari. We can raise our hands and say, look, we recognise good strat when we see it. But Lewis Hamilton with the fastest lap of 16.0. Where has that come from? Wow, I tell you, a bit of rain or a safety car would spice this right up. Max Verstappen at the moment is dealing with everything, but the gap is coming down to Alonso. It was 5.4 seconds and the gap is now 4.5. Fernando Alonso has been gaining on Max Verstappen, and now Hamilton might be catching Alonso. Look at the lap times here. That front 6 cars are absolutely caning it. Absolutely caning it around. And if you're George Russell here, you're hoping you can get past Alex Albon and get into 7th place. But yeah, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez are going to make that one stop work here, I believe. But what if there's a safety car late on? Does anyone think about making a pit stop and going onto the soft tyre and really making an attack. Keenan saying, watch out, Max. Fernando Alonso is still on the move. Faster lap for Alonso last lap than Verstappen. Faster lap for Hamilton than Verstappen. Carlos Sainz on the same pace as Verstappen. Is Verstappen in a bit of trouble here? We rarely see him in trouble. How many laps remaining? There are, yes, 24 laps remaining. Andrew saying the Mercedes needs a few laps to build the tyre temps. Hamilton with the fastest sector 1 there. Look. My word. Oh, I think Alonso might go sub 4 seconds to Verstappen. We might be witnessing something very special here if he can do that. Maybe Max Verstappen isn't too happy at the moment. He was complaining about the gear shifts. He was complaining about the tyres as well. GameStar saying Hamilton has pace now on medium. Hamilton will have pace after 10 laps. Alonso will have pace after 10 laps, so we might see some inversion going on as they're on different tyres. Alonso's on the hard tyre, by the way. Hamilton and Verstappen on the mediums. What does this mean? Oh, Verstappen on the mediums. Remember, he pitted a couple of laps later than Alonso. But Alonso's on the more durable tyre, and he's catching. He's done a 15.8. Verstappen can only do a 16.2. Hang on a second. What's going on here? What's going on here? Drivers faster than Verstappen at the moment. Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz. All faster. But Verstappen does a very quick sector 2. But Hamilton beats it. Hamilton's on the move as well. And Alonso must have had an issue. Alonso must have had an issue. He's dropped back a lot. 5.3 seconds. Alonso must have made a mistake there. I'm going to see if I can see on the feed. And Hamilton is now the driver on the move. It's going to come right into Fernando Alonso. Cannot take my eyes off this at the moment. What happened there for Fernando Alonso? He put the gap to under 4 seconds. Was there a bit of driver error? Let me see if I can find out what went on. Did he go wide? Yes, on the standings I can see he dropped down. Fernando Alonso lost a 1.5 seconds there. Definitely. Taylor, get your shocked emojis out, by the way. I'm trying to work out. And Hamilton is now only 3 seconds behind Fernando Alonso. You see that Alonso with a 2 second slower lap. He must have cut a chicane or something. The race director hasn't seen it, frankly. But we've seen it because we're on top of the standings here. Colin saying, mad lap for Lewis. If you're a Lewis Hamilton fan, let us know in the chat. If you're a Lewis Hamilton absolute stan, let us know if you're supporting Lewis Day, because he is the fastest man on track. 0.7 faster than Max Verstappen. That Mercedes is in the window right now. It is absolutely on fire. Burning it up. Wow, this is a Hamilton of old right now. He is really, really, really catching, putting Fernando Alonso under pressure. Clat D says, Alonso, my guy. Kate says Hamilton. Cloric says hammer time. Keenan hammer time. Philip Dunkley says, come on, Hamilton. Milos, faster laps on race day than quali. Yes, but it was a wet quali, wasn't it? Remember the race, the fastest quali lap was a 1:12, wasn't it? A couple of years ago. Last year was wet as well. Hamilton now with a 16.3, dropping it back a little bit, but showing... Oh, I'm seeing here, Alonso missed a chicane. I think it was the third chicane that Fernando Alonso might have missed. And Pierre Gasly getting within 10 centimetres of the wall of champions. He fancies being a champion today. Nico can't take because it's too much. I can't take my eyes off the standings here because normally Max Verstappen is just able to pull away. We've seen it in every race this season. But for some reason here, he is just not able to pull away, and he's on the medium tyres. He does 2 good sectors for him. But look at Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc goes even faster in Sector 1. Alonso goes even faster in Sector 2. We are seeing the drivers here really, really, really push it. This is coming down to driver skill. You don't often see this in Formula 1, but absolutely fascinating to see these sectors. Bob saying hammer time. Medusi's the one saying hammer time. Zero saying hammer time. Yes. Lewis is Bono. It's hammer time. That was a terrible one. I need to do that again. Copy Lewis. It's hammer time. How was that one? Was that any better? 1.8k, 2,000 people watching the stream right now. And there we go. Verstappen with a 15.856. But Alonso keeping him honest. But Alonso lost 2 seconds. Imagine if Alonso hadn't lost those 2 seconds. But Alonso obviously feels like there's a lot to race for here. That's why he was pushing. And he's on the more durable tyre. Can he eat into Verstappen again? And we saw at Canada 2011, when we saw Jenson Button chasing after Sebastian Vettel. Remember, Sebastian Vettel in the Red Bull was absolutely supreme. What did we see at Canada? We saw Jenson Button force Sebastian Vettel into a mistake. Are we going to see a Red Bull here with another generational talent forced into mistake? It's a bad sector 2 there for Verstappen, it seems. Oh my word, they are putting Verstappen under pressure. 6 seconds. It would be 3 seconds. It would be 3 seconds. Colin saying Russell gaining on Albon. Yes, indeed. Lewis Hamilton still with the fastest laps. And these laps are still going to drop. The cars are getting lighter. The tyres getting more into the window maybe. More opportunities to push the limits. Brake a little bit later. Carry more speed through the chicanes. Maybe take a little bit more of the curb. Verstappen with a 15.9. But Alonso, Alonso with a 16.2. He's going to lose 3/10. What's Hamilton going to do? Hamilton with a 16.2. Leclerc with a 16.2. 16.2 is the special of the day at Montreal today, isn't it? But Verstappen with a supreme... Now Verstappen's turning the wick a little bit. A very fast sector 1. Very, very, very fast. Remember, the wind conditions will be changing every lap as well. There might be traffic to deal with. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. Make sure if you're watching this and you like it, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please feel free to translate that into various languages in the chat. I really appreciate it. As we're keeping an eye, honestly, it's all about the lap times here. Verstappen now on the move. Oh, maybe the messages are coming through to Max Verstappen. Still 20 laps to go, by the way. And are we going to see Verstappen do a fastest lap here and just turn the screw on Alonso and Hamilton? By the way, Charles Leclerc only 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds off Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc will want a podium here. Hamilton saying the wind is picking up. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of variability with the lap times and the sectors. And I wonder if this is going to be with the wind speed. 15.7 for Max Verstappen. Half a second quicker than the drivers behind him. So it's Max time. Max is hammer time. That's an awkward thing. Sammy said if Piastri gets top 10, I'll give Kireth $1. I will take it, my friend. I will gladly take it. So I'm now rooting for Oscar Piastri. Would be great to see. And look how evenly matched it is behind. Alonso 16.1, Hamilton 16.1, Leclerc 16.1, Carlos Sainz 16.1, Lando Norris 16.5, and Yuki Tsunoda is 16.8. So Lando Norris on the move. He's going to be wanting to get into Bottas there. Very, very, very close. Can he go through Bottas and Ocon? And does that Mercedes or George Russell have some damage as well? You really don't want to be in the 17s right now if you're George Russell. But unfortunately, he just can't get past that slippery Williams of Alex Albon on the straight. Welcome to Tess, Nico and Alderan joining the stream. Wind before rain. Yes, maybe. Keep an eye on the weather radar. That is a live weather radar there. Imagine a shower before the end of the race. And again, you can see maybe some crosswinds in the middle sector because everyone's setting bad middle sectors. So it might be the winds blowing in the opposite direction. J-Deep saying Ferrari should come out with mediums. No, these drivers are probably going to the end here. Unless there's going to be a safety car. If someone hits the wall right now, does anyone think about going on the soft tyres? I'm trying to work it out. It's a difficult one. You could say if you're Fernando, no, because you're just going to lose track position. It depends how much you lose under safety car. If Fernando Alonso could get out on soft tyres ahead of Charles Leclerc, he might think about it. But even then, it's going to be dodgy. Going to be a dodgy one. Thanks, Vlacker. Appreciate it. Welcome to our German friends in the chat. Let us know who you're supporting. Again, Verstappen going pretty quick in sector 2. He's turning the screw. That mistake by I was going to say Lando Alonso.
Schumacher has pitted.
That mistake from Fernando Alonso. Actually, Lando Alonso sounds a bit like. What about Fernando Alonso? What about Fernando Alonso? Should we get an AI picture of Fernando Alonso? That's close saying something I shouldn't really say. Right, here we go. 15.6 there for Max Verstappen. So Max Verstappen is now able to go a little bit faster than the cars behind him. And Bottas with a decent lap. Lance Stroll with a decent lap. Oh, Alonso going 15.8. So Alonso responds. Is this going to be a period of the race where you kind of just look after the tyres a bit and go for an assault at the end? I don't know. But Alonso able to basically match Verstappen. Look, I think it's clear that the Red Bull's quick, but Aston Martin have been the breakthrough team this season by a long way. By absolute long way. And Alonso is going to start to put Sergio Perez under real pressure in the Drivers' Championship. FBI saying, please someone crash. Stop, FBI in the house. Leclerc didn't pit. No, Leclerc's all right.
Race position for Haas.
Everyone can go to the end here because Ferrari have done a very, very, very good strategy. Very good strategy from Ferrari here. Fernando Alonso. Yes, indeed. Hello to the lurkers. Yeah, great to see the lurkers. Everyone involved. Kimmy saying rain. I'm looking at the radar. I can't see any rain. Lewis saying Albon and Russell on old tyres. Yeah, it's the dice of the old tyres there. But great job by... Oh, my... Hang on. Whoa. Charles Leclerc really catching up with Lewis Hamilton. Really catching up. I think that gap's going to come... In fact, and Hamilton again catching with Alonso. 15.4 for Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton on fire. The gaps here. This could get very spicy. I think Verstappen's gone, but I think it's going to get very spicy in the battle for P2. Potentially a four-way fight. Three manufacturer battle for P2 here. Alonso, 2.5 to Hamilton. Then about 3 seconds to Leclerc. Then about 3 seconds to Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz has been on the radio saying, hey, I'm faster. I'm faster than Charles Leclerc. Well, he might have the opportunity to prove it. And there's a very slow Mercedes out on track. What is going on there? Is that George Russell getting over? George Russell in trouble. Russell in trouble. Now, by the way, George Russell, I think, is going to need to retire here. If you're George Russell, do you stop the car on track? Is that good news for Hamilton? I'm just saying it, just putting it out there. Sorry, George Russell's going to pit. Yeah, George Russell, I think they might have noticed something going wrong. So, disaster for Russell, because they were able to actually get him into the points. By the way, the Haas team are out in the pits as well. I don't know what Haas are doing. Are they going to retire the Mercedes? Are they going to change the tyres? It is going to be a retirement for George Russell. They did a good job, but ultimately it was driver error. So, one sweaty boy in the pits for George Russell. Alexander Wright, love seeing Alexander Albon in the top 10. Yes, for how long we will see, because he's on very old tyres. But Lewis Hamilton was the driver on the move there. All the drivers sort of matching each other. The big disappointment here is Sergio Perez. By the way, welcome to Taylor Hunt. Good to have a Taylor. It's me, Jahaldasbury Shian. Is that how you pronounce it? And George as well in the chat. It's me saying Verstappen's gearbox has been dodgy all weekend. Yes. Russell brake problem. I did think there might have been an issue with the brake there. Welcome Nigel Manson in the chat as well, who's enjoying the stream. But let me know in the chat, by the way. So George Russell just needed to retire there. Would it have been better for George Russell to stop the car on track and cause a safety car? I mean, accidentally stop the car on track. By accident, not intentionally. If you're Lewis Hamilton, do you take that because you got the fastest lap, or do you not take it? Again, on that lap, Lewis Hamilton faster than Alonso, faster than Verstappen. Or do you not take it because the Ferraris would be behind you? Let me know what you think about that in the chat. Got to be careful there, Sammy. One of the mods will put you on the naughty chair there. They're circling over you, the FIA. Incident has been noted from Sammy's Outback Adventures in the chat. Will be investigated by the stewards. T saying no, that would have been unsporting. John saying indeed. Gia says no, not take it. Afrahim just saying hammer time. Just coming in with hammer time. So unfortunately Russell retired. Maybe it might have been tactical and they want to replace some parts on the car. But he was up there in P8, wasn't he? Send link to watch it live. Yeah, I'll send you the link. Here you go. Just sending the link here, Tuchin. If you click that link, you will get to a live stream of the race. So click that link, Tuchin, and that will really help you out. Lewis Hamilton still on the move, by the way. Still faster than Verstappen. Verstappen 15.9. But it's really the gap between Hamilton, Alonso, and now Charles Leclerc seems to be struggling to keep up. Wow, 15.8 from Hamilton. Another 3/10 on Fernando Alonso, and at that gap, you know, he will catch him. Gerline says, will Perez catch up to Leclerc and Sainz? I'm having a look. I don't think so. I think Perez is just really in no man's land here. And it's showing the golfing class. Oh, it feels harsh to show, but it's showing the golfing class between Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen. There are 13 laps to go, everyone, in the Canadian GP at the Gilles Villeneuve circuit 2023. It's been a great race so far. Safety cars, a flow of undercuts, and now a great battle. Look at the interval there. Lewis Hamilton eating into Fernando Alonso. My word, is that a 1.5 second gap basically? Lewis Hamilton, after being overtaken by Fernando Alonso earlier in the GP, is going to get himself into DRS range, and we will see what the Mercedes has with those relatively new side pods down the straight. Greece saying my grandfather was from Munster. Very, very, very nice. Very nice. Lewis saying Perez is nowhere. 25 seconds to Ferrari. Game start. Alonso will defend like a lion. Yes. Alonso, look, I've got the stuff. We're going to see a big battle here between the GOATs. Okay? I want to hear from you. 2,400 people in the chat. Where's my guy? Where's my guy? This is going to be an all-time battle between Hamilton and Alonso at Canada. They did not get on before. Are you supporting Fernando Alonso? Let us know in the chat if you're supporting Fernando Alonso. Or are you supporting the 7-time Lewis Hamilton? Who are we supporting? Can I wear Fernando Alonso like a napkin? Can I wear him like a little napkin here? Like I'm about to go to a buffet. Does that work? Hang on. How does this... Get in there, Fernando. Fernando, box. No, I don't think I can wear him like a napkin there. The camera's all back to front. I don't know how it works. Ah, he's all withered. Can I like drape him over my shoulder like that? Anyway, let us know who you're supporting. Fernando. Spy's gone 4-4-4-4-4-5. So you're almost supporting Fernando Alonso. Nicholas says Fernando. Alura says Lewis all the way. Afra says Hamilton. Taylor, get in there, Lewis. Nice one, Warren. It's the me, says Fernando. I want to know in the chat, Fernando or Hamilton. Paul Tracy saying hammer time. Megabeat saying Leclerc. Fuddy says still we rise. What is the gap? 1.4 seconds. We are 4/10 from the DRS zone. Baseline saying 44. Clorox, Lewis starting to lose pace. I don't think so. I think Fernando's just having to step it up. Dan saying Alonso. Skibbity saying Lewis. Bowler saying Hamilton. Dominic saying Lewis. Greasy saying Gio saying Alonso. Tess saying the 8-time Lewis. Bernard Alonso. Moon saying Nando. Lewis saying Alonso. Funny man saying Hamilton. Bowler, you're just spamming the Hamiltons here. Who are we supporting? Mark's supporting a tie. It's not going to be a tie. It's going to be an absolutely crazy battle here. Although, I think a slow lap from Hamilton. I think Hamilton with an issue there in the middle sector, presumably. He's now 1.4 seconds off again. He needs to get in that DRS. L plan for Alonso. Hammer time, says Conrad. Clack D saying hammer time. Merlu saying Alonso. Warren says Alonso. All the Alonso fans coming in now. Nigel Manza saying Hamilton. Zero saying hammer time. Dom supporting Alonso, but it's I tell you what, it's mixed. It's mixed. Where do we get Fernando? How do I do this? Fernando, just chill.
Good job, keep pushing.
We'll get you the white visor. Do I need to put it like... Hang on. I just become a head. Oh, now Fernando Alonso, look. I'm now Alonso of the ghost. Or what about Fernando Alonso wearing a Lewis Hamilton thing? Oh, I can make it like a cheeky smile for Alonso. Look at this cheeky smile. Hey. Or wink. I can make Fernando Alonso wink. Nice. Right. Oh, I've dropped him. Where is 1.9 seconds? So Hamilton is... Well, Alonso is now responding to Hamilton. The gap is up to 2 seconds with 9 laps to go. Is Lewis Hamilton going to be able to do it? Is he going to be able to catch up?
Good job.
It's a real battle between them. It's good to Kireth, you guys are too kind. If you do like what we're doing on the stream, hit that like button right now. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you put that notification bell on as well. You don't want to miss the streams you do. You'll miss them otherwise. You just miss them. Lewis Hamilton, did he have a mistake here? I'm looking at a replay. Oh, he was very close to the Wall of Champions, bringing a lot of dirt off the track. He's even got the old school board out. He was saying 1.4 seconds gap to Alonso. It is definitely hammer time or L plan. Nigel saying Alonso may have a rear brake issue. Keenan saying Kireth is king. You guys are too kind. When you see me out in my helmet racing, then we should live stream one of my races. More claps out for Lewis. The gap is coming down a little bit though. It's coming down. And now it's going up. It's 2.2. Oh, look at that bad lap from Lewis Hamilton. 16.2. Man, they are absolutely trading blows here. Trading blows. Dropping Leclerc, dropping Sainz. Sergio Perez has been destroyed here by the Ferraris, hasn't it? Alonso or Lewis, you must always leave the space. It's a good thing it's a Ham versus Alonso classic. Yes. Anyone remember 2007? What a season that was. Hamilton still with the fastest lap. But the gap is 2. Oh, Alonso with a 15.7. Maybe Alonso is toying with Hamilton here. Toying with him. Can Hamilton get any more of those 15.5s? He needs those 15.5. He needs a couple of big laps. He needs 2 big laps here, but there's only 8 laps to go. There's only 8 laps to go. Alonso's on the radio. Hamilton 1.9 behind. If I was Alonso, I probably wouldn't want to care about that. Yeah, Alonso says, copy, leave it to me. At this stage of the race, frankly, leave it to the drivers. It's a sprint to the end. Bowler, what happened to the Russell? Russell driver error. Christopher Russell says, no time for the hammer. Hamilton's mediums will fade against Alonso's hard. We will see. We will see. Alonso with a good sector 2. Hamilton, yeah, he's going to lose a couple of seconds here. What does Lewis Hamilton have? AJ was supporting Seb. Whoa. Is it going to be a P2 for Fernando? He does like it at Canada. How about the Albon-Stroll battle? Well, the Albon-Stroll battle, they're 5 cars apart, so unless they're using quantum physics, I don't think there's too much of a battle there, I have to say. They might be racing in the upside down or something. Ferrari with a great recovery drive, frankly. Ferrari with... I don't think we can call driver of the day, but I think we can call strategy of the day for Ferrari. Strategy of the day. Please, Alonso, no Hamilton. What is the gap now? Oh, Hamilton with a really bad lap of 16.3. 16.3. It's now 2.6 seconds is the gap. So maybe the tyres have overheated on the Mercedes car. Hamilton was really going fast to get that. Why is it so confusing the wrong way around? Like, everything is inverted. How can it be like that? Can I just convert this into a shirt? Alonso's still salty. Sir Lewis beat him. Are you calling Fernando one salty boy? The lap times are sort of fading a little bit. By the way, Alonso is on it because he's gone 4 tenths or 3 tenths faster. No, 4 tenths faster than Verstappen in Sector 2 alone. So Alonso is on the move. He needs to pull it all out of the bag here, but he cannot afford to make a mistake. That's the battle. By the way, we see, I think that's Lando Norris going past Valtteri Bottas for P9. So Norris getting another point there. And Bottas is under pressure from Stroll. Big pressure from Lance Stroll. Lance will really want to recover. I mean, frankly, it's a bit obscene that you got Verstappen and Alonso at the front like that, and then Perez and Stroll way down there. Gerline says, Kireth, I'm a Red Bull and I'm so proud of Verstappen, but Perez has been bad since Spanish GP. He's been bad since Monaco, mate. Remember, he binned it in Monaco. By the way, if you want to get my attention with a comment, just at me in the comments. It will come up in red for me, and I'll see your comment. GameStar saying Hamilton's medium tires now degraded. We will see. Hamilton looks to be struggling. Has he blown it? And what about Charles Leclerc? Is Charles Leclerc now faster than Lewis Hamilton? Well, he is, but he's got a 5-second advantage to make up. Surely very unlikely, but there are 5 seconds to go. Albon driver of the day. If Albon can hang on to a P7 here, Esteban Ocon's behind him, closing in. If Albon can hold in, that is, frankly, Williams' best result in a very, very, very long time. It is a great time with 5 laps to go. Let us know in the chat, who is your driver of the day? Just put your name of the driver of the day in the chat and we will see. Prince saying Albon or Leclerc. It's good saying Albon. It's me saying Lewis getting dropped. Yes, indeed. Gerda liking Albon. Who are your drivers of the day? Let us know in the chat. 2,000 people watching in the stream. Absolutely insane scenes. Replay on board here with Max Verstappen. What happened? Oh, Max Verstappen going over the curb. The same curb that George Russell went over and hit the wall. But Max Verstappen has a little laugh over it on the radar. Basically rode the sausage the same way that George Russell did. Very, very, very risky. Indeed. Very, very, very risky. Logan Sargent, Leclerc, Albon, Fernando Alonso, Piastri, Taylor Albon, Laura Leclerc, Alexander Wright, Albon, Afra saying LH44, Annie Iyer saying Albon, Tronville saying Albon, Moon Leclerc, Sandia saying Carlos, Sachinadan Sen saying Albono, Gia saying Perez, fastest lap. I don't think so. Hooked on Classic saying Albon, yeah, 4 laps to go, and the gap is 3/10, by the way, 3/10 between Alonso and Hamilton. By the way, after the stream there is going to be a premiere of a video with Valentino Rossi's steering wheel. So look at my headphones, how like jaunty they are. This hat is kind of... Oh, now I've got hat. I need to commit to the hat now. We're going to commit to the hat. I shouldn't have put the hat on in the first place. Why did you let me put the hat on? Sandy saying Carlos. Snowline saying Max needs to challenge himself. Conrad Albon greasing at flamboyant and deadly good driver. Hamilton is falling back a little bit to Charles Leclerc. The lap times are dropping a little bit. I'm surprised I'm not seeing more votes for Fernando Alonso. Not more votes for Oh, look how big Fernando Alonso looks like he works at a university here. In like the admissions department. Anyone getting that vibe from Fernando? Can we do wide Fernando? Hang on. Where's the camera? Can we do... Ah, yeah. Big brain for... Oh, big brain Fernando. No love for big brain Fernando in the chat? Base Fun, why do you not show the F1 race on your screen? I do. It's a link I shared earlier. Look at how good Fernando looks in these angles. What's happened here? Let me keep that going. Yeah, Hamilton gave everything but couldn't quite catch up. Norris on the radio as well. Not happy about something. Sergio Perez, by the way, really in no man's land. Hasn't been able to work the miracles here. And still Alex Albon in P7 actually picking up some very good points for Williams. That would put... Let me try and do some quick maths for you. I don't know how many points you get in P7, but that could put Alex Albon ahead of Kevin Magnussen, Yuki Tsunoda, Guan Yu Zhou, and Valtteri Bottas. Alex Albon could be ahead of all of those drivers. Very nice. GameStar, Alonso is a role model of how to be at elite level. Yes, he took some time out as well, didn't he? Went into IndyCar, did some other stuff. Alonso would be 12th. Is that in the standings? That's absolutely crazy. 3 points. So yes, Alonso would go level with Bottas, Guan Yu Zhou, and ahead of Tsunoda, Magnussen, De Vries, and obviously Logan Sargent. That would be absolutely crazy. But there is a bit of a train behind Alex Albon. He's got to watch out. He's got Esteban Ocon. He's got Lando Norris as well behind him. They all want a bit of his lunch. They all want a bit of his lunch there. Lewis Hamilton still with the fastest lap. So Verstappen... Oh, Verstappen looks like he went for it there. Did Verstappen go for a fastest lap attempt? Is Verstappen going for it? How many laps to go, by the way? Oh, 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go in the race. Let me just get this restart in the background. Bear with me. Just going to do this as well. Do it super quick for you. Yes. Just get that background noise on. Is Albon going to be... If Albon holds on... Perez, did Perez pit there? Is Perez going for fastest lap attempt? I think Perez going for fastest lap attempt. That must be it. That's why he's pitted. That's why we saw the pit stop from old Sergio Perez.
This is it. We're moments away
Right.
now.
Perez is going for fastest lap. Imagine if Sergio Perez doesn't get it. Oh, I thought something came off the car there, but I think it was just a bird by the side of the track. So Perez was in no man's land, may as well pit and go for the fastest lap on the last lap. Let's see if it's going to happen for him. And again, Alonso's pace has been very good here. I think Fernando Alonso and that Aston Martin could actually put Verstappen under some pressure, especially if Perez is going to consistently bottle it. I don't think Perez is going to finish the season at Red Bull. I think Max Verstappen... So I think Ricciardo will be in the Red Bull for Las Vegas. It'll be a whole thing. By the way, clip this. Someone clip this right now and save it. I think at Las Vegas, with the whole thing about gambling, Red Bull will do a thing like, we're going to gamble on Daniel Ricciardo. We're going to put it all on Ricciardo, and they'll put Ricciardo in the car for Vegas. You heard it here first. It's all in the works. It's all in the contracts. That's how it's going to work. Thanks, Paul Tracy. Yeah, hit those likes as well. We've got 2,000 people watching, 300 likes. We can do a lot better than that. Deploy the likes. Mass deployment. On the last lap here, Alex Albon would pick up 6 points. 6 points for Alex Albon, by the way. Wow, Alex Albon would pick up a massive... He would go ahead of Oscar Piastri. He would go level with Nico Hülkenberg, I believe. So these could be massive points for Alex Albon, the man you see on the screen right now. This would be huge. It's in the cars, yes indeed. Ricciardo in Vegas, they with publicity. I think it's going to happen. Someone clip that. It's going to be a thing. We are on the last lap in the race, by the way. Welcome to Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon in the house. Mitchie, Jamie, and Jess in the house as well. Welcome along. He's gone. Max is the best drive as well, but under big pressure from Alonso and the Hamilton times. But remember, there was a safety car. It did bunch everyone up. There we go, by the way. Max Verstappen wins the Canada GP. Fernando Alonso comes in P2 and Lewis Hamilton in P3. I don't think any of those drivers will be upset about that result, so we'll have a happy podium. Great battle between Hamilton and Alonso. Maybe Hamilton should have gone onto the hard tyres at the end with a bit more durability. Who knows? Oh! Norris tries to go round the outside of Esteban Ocon on the last lap. What happens with Norris? Why is he dropped down? Why has Norris dropped down 4 positions? What's going on with Lando Norris? Hang on a second. Hang on. Norris trying to go round the outside of Esteban Ocon into the last corner. Is there going to be contact? Yes, there is. He goes over the chicane. What happens here? Does he lose a load? Oh, he's slow. Oh, no. Is it going to be a disaster for Lando? What's going to happen? What's happened to Lando? No, I think he kept it. I think he then got overtaken because he was slow or something. Some disaster there for Norris at the end. Norris trying to go round the outside of Ocon the last few corners. Stroll. I don't think your leaderboard there is not accurate, by the way. Yes, it is. It's showing Lando. Did Lando get a penalty? Yes, Lando got a penalty, remember, for driving too slowly. So Lando was like, Lando, mate, you're just driving too slow. Can you speed it up? We're actually going to give you a penalty as well. So Lando, after all that, finishes outside the point. So if you're Esteban Ocon, you must be thinking, Lando, what the hell are you doing trying to take me out on the last corner when you're not going to be in the points? If I was Esteban, I'd be afterwards like, Lando, mate, what you do? Don't do that again. You could have ruined my race and you weren't even going to get points anyway. Just chill. Perez did get the fastest lap, by the way. Yes, a 14.4 for Perez. Shows how much pace was there in the end on new tyres. Gerline's asking me, does Perez's Red Bull F1 car have a problem with it in mentality? I think it's a mentality thing because we're seeing in qualifying he's just making too many mistakes. So I think we'll see Daniel Ricciardo in that car because Sergio Perez is... What is the point of having Sergio Perez in that car at the moment for Red Bull? There is no point. The only advantage of having Sergio Perez in that car for Red Bull is that he is driving so badly at the moment. He's just not presenting any issues of like challenging Max. So they may as well put some. I may as well be in that car. I wouldn't present any issues to Max. That's the only upside to having Sergio Perez in that car right now. Let me know if I'm being too harsh there. Stroll was amazing, getting Bottas for a photo finish. Oh, does Stroll get Bottas on the line? Very nice. Lots of claps coming out for Hamilton, by the way, by a lot of the mechanics from other teams. They're recognising a great job that Lewis Hamilton's doing here in that Mercedes car. And Fernando Alonso, it's going to be a great podium. I mean, arguably, I think a strong claim to saying the 3 fastest drivers on the podium, as it should be, Verstappen, Alonso and Hamilton. maybe in that order we will see. By the way, that is a lot of world titles on the podium there. You got 8 world titles for Hamilton, 2 for Verstappen, and 2 for Fernando Alonso. So there's 12 Drivers' World Championships on the podium. Is that the most Drivers' World Championships has ever been on the podium? By the way, is that a statistic? Can we confirm that? Chat? Have we just revealed like an insane statistics? Most World Drivers' Championships ever on a title. 7 for Hamilton, what? 7 for... It was 7... I thought some people said it was 8. The 2 oldest drivers on the podium as well. Philip saying once again all the drivers between 8th and 10th. Yeah, we didn't get to see a little bit on the feed. Tess saying he said 8 because I don't know. Let me know how many world titles Lewis Hamilton has in the chat. Some people are saying 8, some people are saying... How can it not be a thing? Like, there must be an answer. Is it 8 or is it 7? How many world championships has Lewis Hamilton won? Is it 12 on the podium then? Hamilton's just stocky, by the way. Is he bulking? Yeah, see you, Warren. By the way, we're going to a premiere after the stream, so we will stay here for the post-race, see if there's any spies, see if there's any penalties, and there is going to be an exclusive premiere for you after this that you do not want to miss on the channel. Some people are saying 8, some people are saying 7. Some people are saying 10.5. I don't know. By the way, do we think that Max Verstappen was actually under any pressure there? Do we think they managed to put Max Verstappen under any pressure? Because there was a moment where it looked like Max had to respond. Maybe on the radio, like, Max, can we increase the pace a little bit, please? Or is, you know... Okay, I'm going to do another theory, right? Sergio Perez is still going to be second in WDC, right? But basically, if Sergio Perez was to drive to max ability of the Red Bull... Fernando looks so happy. He's got his smug face. Maybe Sergio Perez would show just how fast the Red Bull is. Like, Sergio, just don't drive too fast. But maybe Sergio screwed at the end because he's just done a 14.4. So if Max could have done some 14.4s... Welcome, Vincent. Welcome, Synapulus. Welcome, Rich, as well. Thanks, Philip. 14. 2012 Grand Prix. Schumacher 7th. Alonso 2. Vettel 3. Okay. I didn't know that. By the way, that doesn't add up to 14, though. That adds up to 11. So... What? Your maths ain't quite right there, Great Haddocken. Oh, failed for the pound. We're not going to get the pound donation. It's a big shame. We did get a $5 donation in the stream, though. From Zero, didn't we? Absolutely huge. Yeah, thank you so much, 0000083, for the $5 donation. Paying for the beers, basically, that keeps us going here. Doing a good deed for the community, you are. No worries, Great Haddocken. I'm not your maths teacher, but that maths was like absolutely atrocious maths. So unlucky. Max Verstappen looks like he hasn't even broken sweat, frankly. Max Verstappen looks like he's about to get in the car, let alone come out of it. Let's see how Alonso looked like quite a sweaty boy. I bet Hamilton would be as well. If Ferrari can go... JDeep, the race is over. JDeep, you are not live. Chat, can we let JDeep know that the race is done and you're like quite a long way behind in the stream? You need to hit that live button and you'll see us now chilling on the podium. Jensen interviewing Alonso, old teammates at McLaren. A PT for Aston Martin. Alonso looks so happy. Look, a fair play. He didn't have the best time at Alpine, did he? His 8th time for driving for Renault. But Aston Martin are really giving him a car here. Tell you what, are we going to enter an Aston Martin sort of era? Yeah, the heart show. When you click the hearts, everyone can show. Everyone spam the hearts now. And you'll see in about 9 seconds. There we go, hearts spamming. I don't have a button to spam them though. They don't let the streamer spam them. You can only get spammed. Yeah, Alonso's looking really happy. I want to see how happy or unhappy Lewis Hamilton looks. Because remember, this was your grid. Your grid was Verstappen P1, Alonso P2, And let me see if the points have updated, by the way. No, points have not updated yet. Can't know. As soon as the points update, I will get that loaded, because I don't know what the gap is going to be between Alonso and Sergio Perez. Hamilton's looking quite... I think Hamilton would have liked to have done a bit better, to be honest. You might that when you go head to head with Fernando Alonso, you know, they had a great battle in 2007. Great call, Kireth. What did I say? What was that? What happened? Yeah, by the way, remember to join Discord as well. Very bad of me to not promote Discord, but if you do !Discord, if you want to hang out with basically everyone in the chat, this is where we are in the Discord. Over 3,000 people. This is what we do. Let's have a look through the standings. Haven't redone it. Verstappen P1, Fernando P2, Lewis P3. The Ferraris, I think, will be quietly happy with that, but they need to do some reflection and just work out how to qualify better. Again, like last season, it's a season of missed opportunity for Ferrari. Sergio Perez, again, that Red Bull really should be high, shouldn't it? Alex Albon, I think, has to be driver of the day. Driver of the day has to be Alex Albon, surely. Esteban Ocon dropping down the grid, but still getting points. Lance Stroll with a terrible qualifying in P9. Valtteri just kind of solid drive. And then the McLarens, Norris should have been up there, but he got the penalty. Piastri, Gasly improving on his quali, but again had a bad race. Tsunoda, and then Hulkenberg, Guan Yu Zhou, and Magnussen and De Vries, the funniest failed overtake, and then forcing your rival to go into the runoff. Pretty crazy. Andrew saying Mercedes. I think Mercedes are quietly confident. Shame we couldn't see George Russell there. Because if Russell had been up there, maybe Russell could have covered Alonso. If that makes sense. Maybe Russell could have gone to the end. Kiev Middleton saying that's an expected... Oh, look at the hearts being absolutely spammed. Rate it. Lots of love in the chat. I think that's an expected position for Mercedes. Maybe... I don't. They wouldn't want to do any worse, but maybe they could do better as well. I think they know they could have got a P2 here. I can't quite work out what they would have needed to have done to get that P2. But I think they would have been hoping to do it, frankly. Thanks, Blacker. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Let us know what the Croatia score is as well. See you down 86 as well. How to sign Discord? You just hit the link and you can join in your browser. And by the way, I'm running a competition as well to give... It's not a competition, it's a giveaway. You don't have to answer any questions. Just hit the link in the pinned comment. But we're going to see what happens. We're going to go at 9 o'clock to our premiere. So at 9 o'clock we've got something very exciting happening. Welcome to Imogen and welcome to James in the house as well. But that's a Trophy Jump Grand Prix. I'm going to see if we can get the points up, if they've updated. And I still don't think the points have updated yet. Does that mean that they're waiting to classify? I do not know. But Alex Albon is going to jump right up, getting a P7 there in a Williams. I mean, how on earth have they managed to deal with Alex Albon? I mean, great qualifying. And they really built the qualifying nicely. They were very good in Q1, very good in Q2. And then in Q3 they benefited from penalties. No worries, Snowline. Great to have you as well. Hope it's been a distracting weekend for you, if you know what I mean. Different race if Russell didn't if Russell didn't fall apart. I think Lewis Hamilton is a bit distracted, by the way. I reckon he is thinking, damn it, I could have got a P2 here. But, you know, I think they're still to go up on the podium. They're in the driver's room. I just wonder, okay, I want to put this out there. If next season, if we see Aston Martin continue to improve this season, right? By the way, when I see the cooldown room, it really wants me to make me go racing. So at the moment, I can confirm that we have a race suit, a sponsored race suit being made with one of our partners. All the logos, proper race suit, and then we're gonna do some more karting for you. I promise you. I know you want to see karting. In fact, let me know in the chat now if you want to see me do some more karting videos, because when I see the cooldown room, you know, I want to win a few more of these trophies. I want to win a few more of these, and damn, I really want to go more karting. I haven't been for ages. I haven't been for months. I'm going to go this week. We're going to go karting. I'm going to charge up the GoPro. We're going to go down. We're going to do some open races. We're going to upload it. Vlatka says yes, do it all. Let us know in the comments if you want to see them. It's that superior floor design. Yeah, the meme floor design from Williams. Working wonders. Oh, they're looking at Magnussen having that issue where he almost got pushed off at the beginning of the race. Clacty says, you are the man. Very nice, much appreciated. Nice one, Richard Corker, glad to have you on board. Nicholas says, where are you broadcasting from? We're broadcasting from the UK. South Africa in the house. Make sure you check out my video on Africa's fastest racing driver on the channel. You don't want to miss it. Bob Nacho saying, I personally say Sim.Doctor can scrub time with Latvia. Sim.Doctor has glad to help out Bob there. Made him a hopefully structurally faster driver. That's all on Sim.Doctor. That's your one-stop shop for racing news. You get your weekly newsletter that's going to come out tomorrow morning. So if you want to get your motorsport sim racing newsletter as well, just go to sim.doctor in your browser and you get it all there as well. So much stuff going on in the channel and the community. We absolutely love to see it. I'm waiting here to see the podium, by the way. Waiting for the podium, which I'm excited for, and just making sure that we are going to be good to go in our... Now, this is a really interesting review to do. This is a dub... That's scary. That was like me speaking, but I wasn't speaking. Right, we're all good. I'm all good, all good, all good. Albon Tree Champion. Albon, by the way. Hang on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Chat. I want to hear from you. If you're Red Bull now, do you put Alex Albon back in that Red Bull as opposed to Sergio Perez? Who should be in the second Red Bull? Perez or Alex Albon? Let us know. Let us know. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Who should be in there? Just putting it out there. Gerd is patiently waiting. I am once again asking to see Daniel Ricciardo. Stoner says Vettel. That's the rogue choice. Noel says Albon. They're on the podium, but it's a really weird podium. They're so far apart. Andrew says Ricciardo. I want to hear from you, chat. Who should be in that second Red Bull? Thanks, Anil Patel. Great, good showing. Great to see the old boys on the podium. Yeah. You know, Verstappen basically is an old boy because he started like F1 when he was like 12. Christopher Rain says Perez is fine. He needs to focus on driving, not the hype. J Deep saying Alonso. Snow saying Vettel is washed. Wow. It's a really weird podium where like the podium isn't connected. They're all on like their own platform, like it's gladiators. Like they're going to get the old things out and start like trying to push each other off their platforms. That's what's going on right now. Sachin saying Dutch anthem got to be deep fried. You may as well cache the Dutch anthem in your brain. Just have it cached for like easy access here. Thanks, Vlatka. Appreciate it. Vlatka's been doing a lot of modding behind the scenes. It's not easy to mod streams when you have 2,500 people watching. And Vlatka was doing an amazing job when we were streaming current affairs back in the day. It's absolutely crazy. Now I think about it. We've had 30,000 people watch the stream. 650 people watching right now. We used to stream a year ago current affairs to similar numbers. And it's kind of mad, like...
Doing a good job. Keep
what? I should just stream more, right? We should stream more. I think we should do it every day this week. I should stream. This week, I'm going to hit this week on YouTube so hard. I'm telling you. I promise you. I'm going to hit this week on YouTube so unbelievably hard. And we're just going to do stuff that works. If we do something that doesn't work, we're just going to cut it. And we're going to move to something that works, which is going to be absolutely brutal and we're going to go hard. Good. What Albon we're doing in Aston Martin? Albon, look, Albon should be driving something faster than that Williams, right? Is there a higher rated driver than Albon after Max Verstappen right now? What about Alex Albon to Ferrari? What about Alex Albon to Ferrari? Pieter says, great stat from Peter. First time this season a team got the time to under 19 seconds to Red Bull. Wow. Great stat. Great stat. Not just under 19, under 10 seconds it seemed, didn't it? Now there was a safety car there, but the safety car was relatively early. Sachin loves the streams. Aniki wouldn't mind if not. I think we'll see a lot of driver swaps end of this season. I think when we go into the summer break, we'll see some silly season driver swaps. Welcome Jarek Gutierrez, by the way. Thanks, Funky, as well. Funky, you not a mod in here? Oh, dear me. Funky wasn't even a mod. Funky, how are you not a mod in here? There you go, adding Funky to the mods. Sorry, Funky, I do apologise. Don't know how that happened. Funky's doing a lot of stuff in the in Discord. It's not that hard being a mod. Only love and respect in chat. Yeah, best chat in the game. It's time for the champagne. Let me let you know what's going on champagne. They all go to the Red Bull mechanic, and now they're all going to Verstappen. Alonso moves across to Hamilton. Hamilton now behind, gets Alonso from behind. Alonso turns around. It's Hamilton v Alonso. Hamilton gets Alonso's hat off. And now Hamilton spraying Max Verstappen. Is it Adrian Newey? Adrian Newey getting sprayed at the beginning. When you see the replay of that, I think Hamilton was behind Alonso, spraying Alonso. Alonso realised, turned around, started spraying Hamilton, and Hamilton got Alonso's hat off with the champagne. So big drama there on the podium. Alonso getting the hat removed. I think that's an extra 5 points to Lewis Hamilton. Big drama. My dream would be to see Danny Rick to Ferrari. There were rumours of that happening back in the day. There were strong rumours. Strong rumours. JD Banerjee saying Fernando. Well, that was what was going on in the stream there. And where do we go out next time? Is it to the Red Bull Ring next time? Is that going to be the race that we go to? I do not know. By the way, something very exciting is about to happen. Some of you know. Some of you know. Now, as you may know on the channel... By the way, if you're here and you really enjoy just hanging out, go to my channel after all this and go to the premium video section. It's called premium, but it's completely free to watch. It's not behind... You don't need to be a member. It's not behind a paywall. Go to that and just... You can binge that. You can see me do grid walks at Formula E, pit walks at WEC, interviewing Le Mans winning drivers, interviewing racing car owners, racing team owners, a lot of real world motorsport stuff there going on. I want that content to do really, really, really well. Sometimes it doesn't, okay? There's a video I did. In fact, chat, I would really appreciate it. There's a video I did about interviewing a lot of drivers at Le Mans that unfortunately only has 200 views. And at the moment, we're getting 200 views every minute. So if you do, save this video and check it out, because it's me interviewing a lot of drivers at Le Mans. I'd personally really, really, really appreciate it. It's a great video in my opinion. Speaking to real racing drivers, understanding what makes a fast racing driver, how does the mentality work. Now, as part of all that real world stuff, I was very lucky I was able to have a go on Valentino Rossi's steering wheel. That is a steering wheel like this. So on the back of it also goes on to your sim rig. And, well, I like my Logitech wheel. I do a lot of sponsor stuff with Logitech. I don't do any sponsor stuff with Fanatec, but I can tell you, the Fanatec Valentino Rossi wheel is very nice. It's nicer than this one. It's an incredible wheel. So you don't want to miss that, and we'll be going there in a minute. And if you want to win a copy of F1 Manager, that's also at the top. But basically, it'd be great to have you all along in other streams that we do on the channel. It'd be great to have your feedback on what you enjoy, what you want to see, and we can do it. Thanks, Christopher Rains. I appreciate it. It's a great video there. I loved it well. Love for it to do well. And I'm just going to work out when we will be heading over to our exclusive premiere. So if you're watching right now, you will be taken over to the exclusive premiere of me and Valentino Rossi's BMW M4 steering wheel. He drives a Team WRT, and one of those videos I was talking about, I got to speak and interview Team WRT's owner, Vincent Voss, who hired Robert Kubica, who had a very big incident in Canada, I think in 2007, obviously a massive crash, and Valentino Rossi. Whoa. That means one thing, chat. That means the premiere is starting. So we have to do this. Right, I'm going to put a link in the chat. You don't want to miss it. See us over there. This is a link you want to go to. Hit that link right now, or I'm going to take you there automatically. So let us know in the new chat if you're over. Thanks, Khalid. Thank you so much, everyone. We can hang out in the stream on this premiere. I'm going to end it right now. It's been absolutely amazing. Can't wait to spend the next one with you. Got a lot of exciting stuff on the channel. Let's go to the premiere right now. Although this is going to cut me off, isn't it? I'll try my best. Here we go.